the holiday, Saturday, then up close to 100 on Monday. Right now it's 73 downtown. Have a great holiday weekend, Andy.
Thanks, Amanda. You too.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
9 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, fans of both Team USA and Bosnia came to the America First Field in Sandy to watch the teams face off in the Men's World Cup games. There were plenty of USA fans, but a large portion of the crowd came out to support Bosnia, as well as Mateja Mihaljevic.
Bosnia has been surprising me. They've gone to this far, and I'm happy for them. At the end of the day, I'm so happy for them. It's the best that they've ever done.
Team USA won out over Bosnia, but fans say they're happy Bosnia got this far. USA will next face Belgium on Monday, July 6th. Starting Saturday, parents and guardians of children under the age of 18 can begin contributing to Trump accounts. But KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff reports only a fraction of those eligible have enrolled.
According to the Census Bureau, 73 million children were under the age of 18 as of 2024. MarketWatch reports as of early last month, only about 6 million of those children had been signed up. About 1.5 million are thought to have qualified for $1,000 from the government to get the account started. The so-called Trump accounts were created to break the low-income cycle.
Certified financial planner Shane Stewart says the barrier seems to be that parents have to sign up for the accounts. Your money at this moment. The Dow is up 442 points this morning. We're at 52,747. Coming up, breaking 90 degrees once again today. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:01. Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Most families get their financial advice in pieces. A financial advisor here, a CPA there, an estate attorney somewhere else. Everyone means well, but nobody's talking to each other, and those gaps can work against you. Trajan Wealth's family office brings wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning together, not as separate conversations, but as one coordinated system built around your life, your goals, and the people who matter most. Ours is a true family office, not one that refers you out because it's convenient. This kind of dedicated collaboration used to require a 7-figure net worth, but here's the game changer. Trajan kicked that door open. Trajan advisors are fiduciaries, always obligated, always honored to act in your best interest. Unlock your Trajan family office at TrajanWealth.com or call 1-855-TRAJAN-1. That's 1-855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Do you want to walk, play pickleball, and enjoy other fun activities to stay healthy, but you can't because of bad feet? Hi, this is Mike, and the Good Feet store wants to help.
I just had difficulty walking. I tried them on in the store, and my foot felt so much better.
Do you keep buying new shoes and inserts with little or no relief?
I tried all kinds of shoes. It was the arch supports that made the difference from the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet, knees, or back problems get in the way of staying healthy and having fun.
Thanks to the Good Feet store, I bowl in 3 nights a week.
Get back to doing what you love. At the Good Feet store, we'll personally fit you at high-quality arch supports to maximize your comfort. Stop in the Good Feet store or book your free fitting at goodfeet.com. We have locations in Farmington, Riverton, and Sandy.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. You deserve to love where you bank. And here's Cormac Bone.
Do still have heavy residual delays eastbound I-80 from SR 36 in Lake Point over to the 201 turnoff. That is due to a crash. It looks like they've cleared off the road, so again, it's residual delays, just a little heavier right now. Eastbound I-80 also slow in Summit County, approaching the US 40 turnoff. In Salt Lake County, northbound I-15 a little slow at 4500 south, but otherwise I-15 looking really good all across the Wasatch Front. At Ovation Homes, taking it easy looks a little different with single-level home designs. to keep you moving. Ovation Homes, your best years start here. Communities in Syracuse, West Point, and Layton, or ovationhomesutah.com. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
We'll have some clouds today and get up to 90 degrees, 92 tomorrow, 94 for the 4th of July, then all the way to 99 on Monday. Right now, mostly cloudy and 73 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Well, our nation is about to have its 250th birthday, and it's finally here. The longer weekend ahead means we can start celebrating a little bit earlier, with many people already starting the celebration.
But be careful how you celebrate.
Yeah, especially if you're lighting up fireworks. We still have a number of areas where you can't light fireworks, but we also want to be careful about if you're going to have a drink of alcohol and you're going to get behind the wheel of a car, or even behind the, steering wheel of a boat.
Yeah.
Let's not do that either, because some people don't appreciate this. I do, because I practice criminal law and I've represented people involved in BUIs, boating under the influence, but a lot of people didn't understand or hadn't, I guess, appreciated that that's a crime, because a lot of people, I think, Holly, think that when you're out boating, you should have a drink. You should let your hair down.
Because, there's not a lane that you have to stay in necessarily. Look,
but it's a motor vehicle.
We do have a special show for you today of celebrating America 250, but we want to start the conversation talking about boating safety and BUIs, which, of course, it makes sense, but boating under the influence.
Right. So to help us break that down, let's bring in our guest, Captain Chase Peely, Public Information Officer with the Utah Department of Natural Resources Law Enforcement Division. Captain, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So I saw this press release, and I was just intrigued with the dry weekend, right? But it's not, well, we are dry, but the Operation Dry Water. Can you talk to us about that?
Yes, certainly. So Operation Dry Water is a national initiative, and it's dedicated to reducing alcohol and drug-related boating incidents and fatalities through education, through enforcement, and just making sure everyone on all of our Utah's waterways are safe and also sober.
Captain, it seems like a lot of people feel like boating is a sport where you should be able to have a drink and let your hair down, but having had a boat myself, I can say that it's actually inherently a little bit more dangerous than operating a car. At least, you can't brake as fast, you can't turn in the same way. There's no lanes of travel, and some of our lakes and reservoirs can get pretty crowded. But boating under the influence is a crime, and it should be taken seriously, correct?
Yes, certainly. And I think you hit it right on the head, where when you stop on a boat, the boat doesn't necessarily stop. You may power down, but it continues to go, and there's no lanes, but that's what makes it unique, where there's a lot of other boats on the water, a lot of other people on paddle boards, and so we would see it as significantly more challenging than operating in just a few lanes on even our roadways.
Can you tell us what the blood alcohol limit is for boating under the influence? What's the cutoff?
So boating under the influence would be the same blood alcohol content as a regular motor vehicle. It's classified as a regular motor vehicle at a 0.05. And then we also have impairment with drugs. So marijuana, cocaine, meth, all of those. And in combination, that just, it's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's 1 + 1 = 5, 6, 7, depending on the operator.
Can I ask you a follow-up question? If you're out patrolling, I don't know what that looks like on waterways. How do you maybe detect that somebody who's operating a boat is under the influence? How does it show up?
That's a great question, because a normal patrol officer usually looks for lane travel. You guys mentioned that we don't have lanes. what we do is we have binoculars, and we look at boaters as they're operating. Some things that I've had in the past is some erratic behavior, even while operating a boat. If they're getting too close to other watercraft or boats or people, that may be an indication where we would stop and talk to them. And if they do have alcohol, we'll look in, within the reach of the operator. Another fun, well, I guess not fun, another unique circumstance is it's easy to switch drivers. So sometimes we have two intoxicated drivers switching for the sake of one might be more intoxicated than the other. And then we actually have what we call a double BUI there because
Wow.
they both put their passengers in danger and other people on the water in danger by switching, because you can move freely with most boats. So there's just a lot of stuff going on with boats, and that's what our officers are specifically looking for. They're just watching and making sure everyone's safe. And if they have the reason to talk to them, then they'll certainly pick up on intoxication by how they talk to us, how they grab their safety equipment out, just so that, because they are deemed the captain of the boat and they would be responsible for everyone's safety. And some of those boats have around 10 people on those boats.
Are boats different, Captain? And I ask you this because I should know as an attorney, but in an automobile, if I'm driving a car and someone in the back seat has a drink, I can be charged with having an open container in the vehicle, and I guess they can too. If the captain is not drinking and is paying attention, but the people in the boat are having a drink, is that legal, or do you know the answer to that? You know what I mean?
That is a great, yes. Yeah, that's a great question, and I'm glad you brought that up. So our passengers in our boats can actually have consumed alcohol and have alcohol with them, unlike a motor vehicle like a car. So they are okay. What we would let people know is that they frequently trade operators. So the captain of the boat just needs to keep track of who's drinking and not drinking to make sure, because sometimes the captain wants to go and wake surf just like everyone else. And so they'll switch drivers. And sometimes what we see is the intoxicated person ends up behind the wheel. And that's another dangerous situation, because now they're responsible for the person being towed behind. And we've had some incidents where we've had prop cuts. We've had other boats come close to the people in the water. And so we just want to make sure everyone behind that wheel is sober.
Can I ask you a question about wake surfing while intoxicated? That doesn't sound particularly safe either.
We wouldn't advise it, but it's not illegal to do that.
It's just dumb.
So, yeah, the biggest thing is if you are going to drink and wake surf, then at least wear a life jacket, because that is required by law.
Yeah.
So.
You mentioned binoculars, and I just wanted to point something out, and that is that when people get it behind the wheel of a car, typically they have been to a bar or something and had a drink, and then they get in the car, and officers have to observe a driving pattern. But with the boaters, usually they're sitting there drinking, holding a beer in their hand, so it's easy for you guys to observe that and then to pull up alongside and have a chat with them, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly. And what we really like to determine is, if they are stopped, and obviously we don't want the operator to drink, but being stopped on the waterway, that's where we may be watching. And then when they start to travel or go back to the boat ramp or go to another place to potentially fish, that's where that physical control component of the DUI law applies. And so just make sure, if you are behind the wheel and you're about ready to move, then you are the sober one there. So I'm glad you brought that circumstance up.
Do some of your officers have the breathalyzers? Are they even the portable ones, or the?
Yeah, so as part of our standard enforcement procedures, just like a standard field sobriety testing, we have a portable breath test that our officers carry. They call them intoximeters, but that's only after we've done a field sobriety test and we've determined that they are more than likely impaired or under the influence and unsafe to operate that boat. And then that'll be a confirmation of alcohol after that field sobriety test. And that's likely the determination's already made before that. But if they are consuming drugs, then that intoximeter would not capture that positive sample of alcohol.
Right.
All right. Thank you so much. That was Captain Chase Peely, PIO with the Utah Department of Natural Resources Law Enforcement Division. So,
people should also realize this. It can affect your driving privileges.
well, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, I'm
so
sorry.
No.
Cut you off.
Well, no. We have run out of time. But when we come back, actually, we're going to talk about being on land and driving while intoxicated, so we can have a chance to talk about consequences. Stay with us.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to cars4kids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to cars4kids.org. That's cars with a K.
For 250 years, the beating heart of the USA has been the people who call this land home and the communities we make here together. America First Credit Union is proud to have been a part of those communities for 87 years and proud to help our members realize their financial dreams. So come join us in celebrating and succeeding the way Americans always have. Together. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, Holiday, New York just got a whole lot closer. Magnolia Bakery, New York's famous bakery since 1996, is now open in Holiday Hills. Craving something iconic? Step into a true neighborhood bakery experience using simple, high-quality ingredients to create baked fresh daily American classics, including the world-famous banana pudding, cupcakes, cakes, cheesecakes, and more. Magnolia Bakery is known around the world. It's the taste of New York, served fresh and locally owned and operated right here in Utah, bringing that legendary charm home to Holiday Hills. It's more than just a delicious dessert stop. It's worth a visit. You've seen Magnolia Bakery on Saturday Night Live and more. Now it's your turn to see what the buzz is all about. Find the authentic Big Apple sweetness at 1895 East Rodeo Walk Drive in Holiday, where the Cottonwood Mall used to be. Open every day, including Sunday. Magnolia Bakery in Holiday Hills, where every day deserves dessert. A New York City bite without the flight.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
On BritBox, there is a place where stories twist like cobblestone roads, grand manners hide secrets, and stakes are higher than seaside cliffs. Find places worth getting lost in on BritBox. Watch new series like The Other Bennett Sister from the world of Jane Austen and A Woman of Substance starring Golden Globe winner Brenda Blethyn. If you want to get away, you're in the right place. Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Free trial at BritBox.com.
Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Everything to my back is dark.
High in the alpine wilderness.
Really ugly clouds coming over from the north.
a place
The ridgeline is imposing, the escarpments, the drops.
where survival
It's dark now. I have nothing.
is never certain.
This is not good.
My name's Dave Cawley, and I'm the host of a podcast called Uinta Triangle. It's about the disappearance of an Australian hiker named Eric.
Our conclusion and that of the sheriff is that the mountains have decided to keep him.
Come retrace Eric's footprints with me.
You have done this walk too, but this is your backyard. Did he really make a wrong turn, or did he decide that he was done?
He is not the first or last person to vanish in this remote region.
It was haunting to see the photos. I mean, really.
Find and follow the podcast series Uinta Triangle. That's Uinta, spelled U-I-N-T-A, Triangle, wherever you get your podcasts. All episodes out now.
Inside Sources. Inside Sources.
So Independence Day celebrations include parades, usually fireworks, picnics, barbecues. Personal fireworks might be out this year, but parades and foods are still on the agenda. Some other fun things too.
Yeah, and the thing a lot of people choose to do at parades or picnics or barbecues is have a drink. Some drink alcohol, and as we know, alcohol can otherwise lead to fun celebrations, but can also turn deadly.
Especially if someone who's been drinking chooses to get behind the wheel of a car.
This segment is part of our America 250 coverage. Let's talk more about driving under the influence, because, Holly, that is one crime in Utah that seems to have a change and a tweak every year. In the 44 years since I've been practicing law, it seems like it's getting more and more restrictive. We used to have the legal limit as .12, then it went down to .08, then it went down to .05.
Yeah.
And one thing that they're trying to do is reduce the number of not necessarily DUIs, but fatalities, people that are getting hurt, people that are getting injured from drunk drivers.
Right. So I saw yesterday my friend Mike Maurer, he works with Governor Cox and he's around the state a lot, but they had a big thing with the Utah Highway Patrol on Capitol Hill. And so I'm looking at a post of his on X. So we would have said a tweet, but he says this: beer, nachos, and a ride share, $52. Beer, nachos, and a DUI, $20,000. And here are the receipts to show it. And then there's this picture where they literally did a huge receipt of what it costs you if you are arrested for a DUI, right? And they rolled it out down the steps of the Capitol yesterday.
I think my bill's part of that, isn't it?
Probably.
Attorney's fees.
I can't see the details, but
addition to your insurance, not having a driver's license for a period of time, it could be at least 120 days, but it could be up to 18 months or longer, depending on if it's your first or second offense.
So speaking of consequences, I did want to ask you, are the consequences for DUI and BUI, are they the same potentially? So if you boat under the influence, you drive under the influence. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so they're almost exactly the same, and I think our last guest was pretty good about that. So operating a motor vehicle is all under the same criminal code, and whether it's a boat or a car or a motorcycle, whatever it is, if it's a motorized vehicle. Now, there are very, very few exceptions with mopeds and stuff that I don't want to dig into the weeds on that. But yeah, you're boating under the influence, driving under the influence, it could be the same. And you can lose your driver's license. You can use your driving privilege.
Your car driving privilege if you're boating while impaired.
Motor vehicles will still get that information and take your driver's license away. And one thing about DUIs, BUIs, whatever they are, we have a 3 strikes rule in Utah. The first is a Class B misdemeanor, which is serious. It can result in jail, fines, loss of your driver's license. The second one is more serious, but a third DUI is a felony. It's a felony, and it has a mandatory, it's a weird number, but 62 and a half days in jail. The judge cannot avoid that. If you're convicted of a third DUI, I mean, you can go to prison for 5 years, but the judge has to impose
at least 62 and a half days.
Yeah, that's a lot of time. I mean, think about being away from your family for 2 months
or
because
your work.
Yeah, right.
I think, and I might be misremembering, but I think I remember the legislature doing something like that 3 strikes because of people who were left out who caused fatal accidents then.
Sure, right.
On their 5th DUI or however many it was, and saying, look, we need to make sure people know we're really serious about this. So for anybody out there who's listening, there will be increased enforcement both on the waterways and on the roadways. I do want to also say there are a lot of traffic pattern changes this coming weekend. We've got parades. We have there's always construction, although they won't be actively working on it. But there are things where road closures are going to happen. If you think down in the Provo area, lots of stuff happening there. And I'm going to just do a shout out to Ricky Meese here, our traffic reporter, because she's been doing some social media reels where people can say, okay, what's the latest? And I think KSL News Radio, of course, is a great place to go to get the latest on traffic. But if you're impaired because of alcohol or other factors even, and you have a changing traffic pattern, that may be something, of course, that you can't anticipate quickly enough. It's always, I think, important, like, to say don't be on your phone while you're driving to get to the parade route or something like that, right? You've got little kids who are running around too.
Right.
So just even the change in traffic patterns.
And I think a lot of people don't realize this. You can be the best drunk driver in the world and be very careful and you can put both hands on the wheel, you could pass the test. But if someone hits you, let's say you're in an awkward pattern and somebody just rear ends you and the police come and you're under the influence, even if nobody saw you drive badly, even if you didn't drive badly, you can't drive with alcohol in your system. It doesn't matter. Even at that low level of 0.05. And 0.05, if you consider that an average drink, a can of beer, a glass of wine, usually adds about 0.03 to your blood system. It depends on your weight and other factors. That's 2 drinks. That's 1.5 drink. I mean, it's not like you can go to a bar in the old days and have a couple beers and then drive home or get in your car or do whatever. I mean, you have to be very careful. I mean, we don't have a law that says you can't drink and drive, period. And, maybe I think some people wish we had that, but you can have a drink and get to 0.03. And I'm not saying you should, because any level of alcohol it gets you impaired, but it's a very low level now. It's the lowest in the country. And it seems to be working. It seems to be having its desired effect because it has lowered the number of driving deaths in Utah.
Yeah, that's a new study that came out. I did want to point out that we've talked about driving under the influence. The Department of Public Safety says that, and in fact, I saw this on the waterways one as well, being impaired is the highest cause for fatalities, both on the water, if you're boating impaired, and on the roads. So the Department of Public Safety says 102 individuals died on Utah roads due to drug or alcohol-related drivers. And there's only 6. There's been 108 driving fatalities. 102 had some connection with drug and alcohol-related drivers.
Yeah, and I should say this when I mentioned you could have 1 drink. If you're one of those people that gets a little bit tipsy with 1 drink, even if you're not 0.05, you can be driving under the influence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you're under the influence means that you're impaired.
Yeah.
And that's why they do the field sobriety test. That doesn't measure your blood alcohol. When you have,
it can even be some of the nighttime sleep aids, Ambien, for example, right?
Yep.
You will be driving impaired if you have taken an Ambien.
Right, and that's against the law. It's treated the same as a DUI. If they draw your blood, and another thing people should know about medical marijuana, legal marijuana, you can't drive under the influence of marijuana.
Yeah. So I will say DPS is doing it's kind of a twofer. So they're increasing enforcement, but they're also partnering with WCF Insurance to offer Lyft ride credits. So if people are like, I can't afford a ride home, you can get $12.50 by scanning QR codes at participating bars and restaurants. They really want everybody to have a fun and safe 4th of July weekend.
And there are so many rideshare programs out there right now. It makes no sense. I mean, go get your car the next morning or something like that. You can always leave it, spend the night, get a ride home with somebody or a Lyft share or something like that, and then go pick up your car when you're not impaired.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. I mean, what we charge people for DUIs would shock you, what attorneys charge. And it's because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah.
And there's driver's license consequences.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that follow a DUI that don't follow other crimes because of the driving part of it, the administrative
absolutely. Look, we only have a minute left, but I wanted to say one other note. I've got a friend who every year about this time, he will post something on Facebook and he'll say, this is the last weekend that some people will have all 10 fingers. reminding. It's another good reason to not set off personal fireworks. But I
was wondering where you were going with
because
that.
people blow off their own fingers. And I saw yesterday a post from a healthcare professional saying, look, every year on the 4th of July weekend, there is some tragedy that was preventable that family is going to remember every 4th of July going forward, that this is when XYZ happened. I lost a finger. We had a death, right? I mean, something tragic. And to have fun, but please, please, please be safe. And don't light the state on fire.
Yeah, seriously, you're losing an eye or something like that. Well, we're going to have more on America 250 coverage coming up beginning at 10:30 this morning.
But in the meantime, let's shift gears, and we're going to talk about a new request from Corey Richins' attorneys for a brand new trial. Stay with us.
9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, 2 daredevils who climbed to the top of the Empire State Building are facing a slew of charges today in court in New York. The duo, who were subjects of a 2024 documentary based on their climbing, climbed to the very top of the building's spire, where the blinking light is that alerts helicopters and airplanes. More from ABC's Aaron Katursky on why their climb was so dangerous.
The Empire State Building's needle, where the two loitered for more than 45 minutes, contains communications equipment that sources tell ABC News emits a significant amount of radiation.
They unfurled a banner at the top and then, after about 45 minutes, climbed down to the platform and got engaged. Other national stories. KSL is following a nun who was on her way to Mass was arrested by federal immigration agents. This as the Department of Homeland Security has ramped up immigration arrests over the last 5 days and taken 10,000 people into custody. More from ABC's Jay O'Brien.
We're learning that Sister Leticia Ubwaja, a Nigerian national, was arrested and detained by immigration enforcement while walking to Mass. It happened last Sunday in McAllen, Texas. Bishop Daniel E. Flores of the Diocese of Brownsville calling her a source of goodness and hope in their community. Just a few hours after her arrest, DHS later releasing Sister Ubwaja, who's been in the U.S. for at least 10 years, but her immigration status is unclear.
Your money at this moment. The Dow is up 381 points. That's 0.75%. We're at 52,690. Coming up, we're expecting a hot weekend. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:32. A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Soda Diet Nutrition is offering a big summer offer to give you 4 free weeks. That is 4 free weeks with Soda Diet Nutrition. Just call 866-800-SODA, S-O-T-A, and mention KSL News Radio. Repeat it if you can, 866-800-SODA for 4 free weeks. And by the way, Soda Diet Nutrition, you can go online and do it the same way, SOTA, dietandnutrition.com, and speak with a degreed nutritionist. One thing about the 4 weeks that is important is that in 4 weeks, you can change your life. You can have different energy, you can lose weight, you can have a different way that your clothes fit, and you can do what's called Soda's dynamic diet, and that's what it's built to do. Remember, you can get 4 free weeks for free, 866-800-SODA. Mention KSL News Radio, and you can get involved in their program. Soda Diet Nutrition, it's been great for me. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm on the program. I intend to stay with the program for life. SOTA, say it with me, state of the art.
This year, Utahns are celebrating the 250th anniversary of our country, Utah style, because everything from Utah's red rock deserts to our snowy peaks are worth celebrating. It's our land, our communities. Join us in celebrating our country with Utah style. Join the statewide celebration. Get involved at america250.utah.gov. Brought to you by America First Credit Union.
What's more American than an iconic family road trip? This year, celebrate America's 250th birthday with an unforgettable adventure to Vernal, Utah. Explore Dinosaur National Monument, 3 stunning state parks, Utah's newest outdoor thrill, the Ashley Gorge Via Ferrata, and the endless beauty of Ashley National Forest. From mountain biking and camping to fishing and exciting whitewater rafting, there's something for every member of the family. Visit Dinosaur Land in Vernal, Utah, just 3 short hours east of Salt Lake City. Plan your trip at dinoland.com.
Doug Wright, and I'm here with Monty from Connecticut Quality Water Systems of Salt Lake, an authorized Connecticut independent dealer. Now, Monty, don't all of the other water softeners require us to basically trust our home's water to electronics? If a power surge happens, a fried circuit board, or the power just goes out suddenly, aren't you back to scrubbing hard water scale and dry skin?
Yes, we believe the best technology is simple. That's why Connecticut's premium systems are non-electric. While other softeners rely on finicky computers and electronics, Connecticut runs on the kinetic energy of moving water. Nothing to plug in, no buttons to push, and zero electricity.
I've had a Connecticut soft water system in my home for many years, and I've never had to do anything to it except occasionally add a little salt. And I love that it never requires me to set or program anything. Dee loves that she always has the soft water. So do what I did and go to softwaterutah.com to learn how your family can enjoy the benefits of soft water without the hassles of traditional water softeners. That's softwaterutah.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Learn how to save more this summer at uccu.com. And here's Cormac Bone.
No delays both directions on I-15 between Ogden and Provo, but eastbound on the 201 freeway still very heavy in Magna. Those delays are lasting a little later into the day because of the crash that we had earlier on eastbound I-80, and the backups are just now getting their way through there. Eastbound I-80 also a little slow near the Mountain Dale Reservoir area, but as you approach the US 40 turnoff, you shouldn't see any slowdowns. Attention property managers, customers see your parking lot before seeing your lobby. Make the first thing unforgettable with GoPave Utah. Seal coating, crack sealing, stripping, patching across the Wasatch Front. Visit gopavutah.com. Cormac Bone at the KSL Traffic Center.
The high today will be 90 degrees with a 20% chance of rain. We'll get up to 94 for the holiday on Saturday, then to the upper 90s to start off next week. Right now, partly cloudy and 75 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Well, we're learning today that the woman convicted of killing her husband with fentanyl and then writing a children's book on grief is now asking the courts for a new trial.
So in this new request, attorneys for Corey Richins claim the last trial was tainted by bias, irregularities, and undue prejudice. They claim that information on financial crimes from Richins shouldn't have been allowed in the murder trial, which is really interesting to me, Greg. So can you break that down?
Yeah, so there are actually two parts of this, and you just said them very well. One was that they claimed that the judge was biased and and what they really have gone through this quite thoroughly, and they've actually included, I'm looking at the motion, it's 14 pages long, but there are also 4 or 5 exhibits to it.
Wow.
They're claiming that the judge was, in his rulings and in his manner and in his way that he talked to the attorneys, unfair and clearly biased to the defense, that he would talk to them in a demeaning way where he was more congenial with the prosecution. Now, I watched a little bit of that trial on TV. I didn't notice anything of the sort. And I know the judge. Now, obviously, I'm a little bit biased in this case because I was the spokesperson for the Richins family before the trial. That role is over now, that the case is over. But I can't imagine that what they're claiming was actually happened, but I wasn't there for all of the trial. But they're saying that he would sort of demean the defense and say, hey, move on or stop, or where he is with the prosecution, he's like, hey, you may want to try this or you may want to try that. I mean, I don't know that that's true,
okay.
But they've got a record of the proceedings. They've got actual language that he made. I would say this. His name is Mrazek. He's probably the best trial judge in the state. I mean, he is.
Well, he's recused himself now too for anything moving forward.
So
right?
this motion involves him personally. So he said, "I can't rule on it.
Right.
I can't rule that I was a bad judge."
Right.
So they're assigning it to a different judge to take a look at that. And I do want to talk about that a little bit more. But there was a second claim in this, and that was that there was evidence that came out during the trial that the defense team thought shouldn't have come out, and that was evidence about Corey Richins, the defendant's financial history, some things that she had done prior to and about the same time as the alleged, well, it's not alleged homicide now, it's a convicted homicide, but that shouldn't have come in. They felt like that the judge allowed too much evidence in that about her other crimes and wrongs and things like that. So under the law, we have what we call character evidence, and so evidence of other crimes is not admissible that you proved that you convicted this crime. We just talked about DUI.
Right.
Believe it or not, if you're on trial for DUI, the fact that you had a prior DUI is not relevant. It's not
really,
because it doesn't have anything to do with it. What the
Okay.
issue
All right.
in trial is, did you drive under the influence on July 4th, 2026? Not did you drive under the influence also 2 years ago? I know it seems odd,
Okay.
but the law is keep your eye on the prize.
Okay.
However, it can come in for other purposes such as, motive, opportunity, things like that. So what they're saying is that these financial misdeeds were part of the plan. They're part of the homicide, that she did this because she was
for a financial motive, as I remember the trial.
So
Yeah.
the state brought a lot of that in to show her financial, mismanagement and things that she had done, in part to show why she had to commit this homicide.
Right.
So but the defense is claiming way too much came in. They were spent a lot of time with certain witnesses on the stand going into her financial misdeeds, and that would bias the jury into thinking, well, she's financially insecure. She takes advantage of people. She doesn't pay all her bills. She's left people high and dry.
And you think it's not relevant.
And so
they're claiming it's not relevant.
But that would make the jury dislike her.
Okay.
In a way that, well, what does that have to do with a homicide? Well, the state's saying, well, it had everything to do with a homicide because
Right,
the
'cause she
homicide
needed
was
the
for
money.
financial.
Yeah.
So you have to keep your eye on what's actually happening at trial. So this is a motion that they filed. Now that motion, part of the motion could be heard by the trial judge, but
so
they're assigning it to a different judge altogether.
So the actual motion is for them to completely start over from the beginning and give her a brand new trial.
Exactly.
Why not just appeal her conviction?
Because this gives you two shots at the trial.
Because you can do both.
Right, yes, and they will
So
do
if
both.
this is denied,
This is part of their appeal. So yes, they can appeal her conviction, but why not take a shot early with a trial court, even if it's a different judge, and say, hey, before we go to appeal, this trial was wrong in the first place.
Wow.
So it's a post-trial motion that we file. I just filed one on a case myself. If you think, well, something inappropriate happened at the trial, really we should revisit this whole trial thing. But a lot of it is, it's all the exact issues that they'll raise on appeal. They just get two bites of the apple.
so I want to ask you then, what are possible outcomes with this filing?
Well, the possible outcome is this: you get a new trial or you don't. I mean, it's as simple as that, because that's what the motion is
It's
for.
either a yes or a no.
Right, a new trial. Now, a new trial doesn't mean she's acquitted, it's over, see you later, goodbye. It's start over, let's have another trial, and let's not have a judge, according to the defense, who's biased. Let's not have a judge who lets in evidence about financial misdeeds. And then they sort of have a catch-all. There's a third part of this that's saying, well, the cumulative effect of all the bad things that happened should give us a new trial. There's just all kinds of things that are just, if we add them all up, we should get a new trial.
How often does that happen?
Not often at all.
Yeah.
But in fairness to everyone here, a new judge will look at the case. The judge disqualified himself. He said, look, because they're claiming that I did something wrong, I'm going to have a different judge hear it.
Yeah, well, I think you're absolutely right. He can't rule on a case where he's a subject of the case.
Right. He can't rule and say, I was bad.
No, he's going to say, I was not bad.
Right. Well,
I mean,
by definition, he's
think.
going to say, I did what I thought was right.
Right.
So another judge will look at it, and this judge is not bound by anything that the prior judge did. It's not like they're best friends or whatever.
Sure.
A judge will look at it with a clean set of eyes and say, look, based on the totality of the circumstances, based on the entirety of the record, I don't see something wrong. Or they might say, you know what? That's not what judges are supposed to do. I'm going to grant you a new trial.
So we don't have a whole lot more time, but this new judge who looks at this, he has to look at more than just these 14 pages and the exhibits that they submitted. Does he have to look at the totality of the trial?
Yeah, but they did that basically. What they've said is the judge did some bad things, and here they all are. So they copied all of the things that the judge did. The judge allowed this evidence in, and here it is. So what they've alleged in terms of the judge's comments during the trial are included in the exhibits.
But wouldn't that also slant it because you're not showing the totality, right? You're picking and choosing certain moments.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying from the outside.
Right, and the state can counter that and say, well, look, we have this and this and this. You should also be aware of these things. I don't know that the judge is going to sit down and watch 3 weeks of trial and see if it was fair because, frankly, they've said that certain things the trial judge did were wrong, and this judge could look at that and say, well, were they or weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay.
I mean, no surprise. Really, this one, I think I was getting a lot of calls yesterday. Oh, no, what about this? I absolutely expected this was going to happen.
Yeah, you mentioned that even when we carried her sentencing here.
Yeah. Well, coming up on Inside Sources.
I'm feeling awesome. Let's go, baby. U.S. win 2-0 with one man down.
So we have to talk about the World Cup. We don't get to talk about sports very often, but we don't have the World Cup very often. And the United States won its first knockout round game. And we'll talk more about that after this.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services. And if you have a drain that's clogged or backed up, after you've tried the plungers and products, the next step usually involves some kind of drain snake or cabling equipment. You see, sometimes the blockage is far enough down the line that you need special equipment that most homeowners just don't have. That's where the Drains Department at Any Hour Services can help. A drain snake can clear most blockages and get the water flowing again, and clearing blocked drains is what our Drains Department does day in and day out. So if you're a homeowner with a drain line that's clogged or backed up and you'd like one of our drain technicians to come and snake the line for you, it's only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
There's nothing like getting outside, moving, and enjoying time with friends. Utah offers endless ways to get outdoors and stay active. Pickleball, hiking, biking, and more. Staying healthy is fun if you do it safely. Intermountain Health recommends taking time to stretch, warm up, stay hydrated, and pace yourself. These small steps keep activities safe and enjoyable for everyone. Because when you make health and safety part of every activity, you're taking care of what matters most: your life, your health.
This year, Utahns are celebrating the 250th anniversary of our country, Utah style. Everything from Utah's red rock deserts and blue skies to our snowy peaks and canyons are worth celebrating. As America marks this historic anniversary, we invite you to honor the stories that ground us, the history of the people who came before us, and the places that shape us. Celebrating with Utah style means looking out for your neighbors, sharing a meal, working hard, dreaming, innovating, and finding connections with the people who make Utah, Utah. It's our land, our communities. It's our way of showing up for something bigger than ourselves. So raise a glass or a dirty soda and join us in celebrating our place in the American story. Find ways to celebrate and commemorate with your community this summer at america250.utah.gov.
You can't escape a traffic jam. Know what else you can't escape? Seasonal allergies. And you might think you can avoid that coffee stain until... Oh, really? You can't escape a lot of things in life, but you can escape prediabetes. Prediabetes captures 1 in 3 adults. There are usually no signs of prediabetes. In fact, most people don't even know they have it. But with early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Take action by taking the 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. You might not be able to escape having this song stuck in your head, but you can escape prediabetes. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, a gripping new 9-part investigative podcast about a serial killer you've probably never heard of, Warren Forrest, a sadistic predator who prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He hid behind the deeds of Ted Bundy, and he's only been convicted of 2 murders, but is suspected of many more. Since the release of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, a witness identified in the podcast could lead investigators to the remains of Jamie Grissom.
He ran into the woods. He said he stumbled. As he fell down, he looks up and sees the body of a young woman.
And now the FBI is testing forensic evidence that had been collecting dust for decades. This cold case is now red hot. Binge the entire season of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley right now, wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the latest breaking news.
The new Inside Sources.
Okay, American soccer fans, or football for the rest of the world, are riding high today following last night's Team USA win against Bosnia-Herzegovina 2-0.
Yeah, at the San Francisco Bay Area Stadium last night, chants echoed around the world that the team had won the knockout round in the World Cup for the first time in 24 years. We haven't been at this point in 24 years, Holly.
So Team USA fans say they're ecstatic for the World Cup thus far. They're hoping to see their team through to the end of the tournament.
We're going to follow the team wherever they go. We're traveling to it, so we're happy to be here. So
yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Okay, so let me just set the stage a little bit because the World Cup starts with 48 teams.
Okay.
And you have to qualify for the World Cup. There are regions around the world, the Americas, Asia, Europe. They're different, and so we have to play against teams in our part of the planet, and then certain teams qualify for the World Cup. America qualified, which is good because when you're the host nation, it's always good to qualify.
Isn't it an automatic given if you host it, you get in?
No.
Is that the freebie? No.
Okay. It should be, but it's you still got to qualify.
Okay.
So we qualify for the group of 48, and I'm just gonna have a little fun here. So they break it down into 12 divisions of 4 teams, and it's random, pretty random.
Okay.
So we played 3 other teams. We beat 2 of them and lost to 1.
Okay.
And so we qualified for the next round.
Okay.
We qualified for what they call the round of 32. What they do is they take the top 2 out of each of the 12 divisions. That gives you 24. And then they take the best 8 teams otherwise that didn't qualify.
Okay.
Because it's nice to have 32 because you can divide it by... You can keep whittling it in half and you get down to the final one. So with the knockout round, you asked what that was earlier, is where we are now. You start with 32 teams. It's play or die. You know what I mean?
Okay, so this one is if you lose, you're out. That's why it's called the knockout round.
Yeah, it's all or nothing. So we're in the round of 32. It's sort of like the NCAA tournament. We're down to we're in the Sweet 16. We're one of the 16 teams left, and then so I mean,
you know who else is left? Cabo Verde. They're still in the knockout round still.
Right, yeah,
I think they play today. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So no, it's wild. It's crazy because you never know some team that's. I mean, we played Bosnia and Herzegovina, and we were favored, but it was they're both very good teams to get to that level.
Yeah.
I mean, some big countries have lost. I think Germany lost.
Germany. Yeah. Well, that's who the U.S. beat, right?
No. We didn't beat Germany.
Who beat Germany then? Because it was a shocker.
Yeah, it was like...
See, you can tell. I do not follow
you don't
sports
follow
like
that. One of our listeners will get it. But it was a team that was like a South or Central American team. I don't know. I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, they beat Germany. It was a big deal. Very exciting. And so they move on. But it's all or nothing. And soccer is one of those games where you don't know. I mean, one team could just rise up on the day and win the game, and suddenly they're there. So we're in the round of 16. I think we play a very good team next. I think we play
Belgium.
Okay.
It's Paraguay that defeated Germany on penalties.
Okay,
so that was the shocker.
I was close, right?
You were close.
I was in the right part of the world. Right part of the planet.
I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Look,
and it's exciting. I mean, I think this is just cool as heck.
I think they're playing in Seattle, if I understand, and they're playing – in Belgium on the 6th of July, so Monday, right? So they get a few days off. So look, this is I think a sport where maybe some fans are a little over the top.
Oh, it's your country.
Now, I understand that, but look, I mean, we have American football. This is football to the rest of the world. I kind of get it, but not really, because I was looking at these stories that I have continued to see. There are 6 coaches that have either resigned or been fired since their teams lost at the World Cup. And I just think, come on. And a number of years ago, it's been a while, it's been 32 years, there was a soccer player shot and killed because it was his mistake that cost his team.
Yeah.
And
I know. It's a big deal. It's huge.
He made an own goal, right? I mean, and they ended up losing 2-1, so he scored in his own goal, which you're not supposed to do. At least I know that part.
Scored the winning goal for the other team, right?
The other team.
That's not good.
He was shot and killed for it.
But you don't deserve that, right?
I mean,
no, it's
come on.
Something...
But I have to tell you about some of the coaches. So we've talked about the Scotland team.
Mm-hmm.
They were eliminated relatively early. Their coach is gone. It's like, oh,
they didn't
really?
They didn't make the knockout round,
They
so the
didn't
coach got knocked out.
That is exactly
right.
That's exactly right. The coach of the Netherlands, he stepped down because he was knocked out in the round of 32.
Right.
Yep. And Ecuador, that coach stepped down. That Tunisia fired their coach because he had they're saying this in the article I'm looking at, catastrophic opening game. They lost 5-1 to Sweden. South Korea has stepped down because he didn't make it to the knockout round. I'm like, you guys, I mean, come on.
You know, we in this country, we got to the point where it seemed like if you didn't qualify for the World Cup, you know, because it's every 4 years.
It's
on the off year to the
Olympics.
Olympics.
The Olympics,
right.
Yeah.
So
of the Summer Olympics, I guess.
The Summer Olympics, yeah. Same year as the winter. Anyway, so it was like the U.S. didn't qualify for, I don't know, 1 or 2 times, and so they just got a new coach. But, I mean, that's what you do. You play to win, and you coach to win.
I know, but, I mean, you have wins and losses. I mean, in none of these sports games are there ever, like, you only win. I guess every once in a while it happens. But even our national champions in football, et cetera, usually they have a few losses. You don't fire the coach on the first loss, even if it's a big one.
I don't know, but
I'm just saying.
But yeah, I mean, but you also look at a lifetime achievement sort of a thing. But maybe they've lost in other games. Maybe they've done other things. Maybe that team was just really good and had high expectations, and they were let down. Who do you blame? But the coach. You can't fire the whole team.
Well, I don't know.
Well, maybe you can.
Okay, so tell me if you know about this, because I heard this on the drive-in on the morning news. There was a red card given to a U.S. player, and he's out. He was out for the rest of that game, and I was hearing Andy on the morning news say he's also out for the next game. Do you know anything about red cards?
Yeah, they're bad. So what happens is don't get one. running red light. So
now we know why people don't listen to our show for sports.
Usually, if you make a mistake in soccer, they'll give you a yellow card. The ref will hold up a yellow card. That means warning.
Okay.
Will Robinson, don't do that again. But if you get a red card, it means that you've sort of crossed the line. Either you took a foul, you took a and I saw what he did. He sort of tripped up another player, but he may have had a prior yellow card, or another warning or something like that. So a red card just means you're out for the next game. You don't get to play in the next game. He'll play in the following game if the USA qualifies. And he must be a big name. He must be because they're making big news about it.
Yeah.
But
because he scored a goal.
He got a red card, and so they're saying, okay, you're done.
All right.
That's the punishment.
We have really smart listeners.
Yes.
So we have had 2 that have texted us because I asked you, doesn't the host country get an automatic gimme into the World Cup? And they actually said they do.
Okay, I'm wrong about that. It would make sense.
As a courtesy, the host receives an automatic berth selection.
Okay, I was wrong about that, but that's good.
But we made it to the knockout round or out of the knockout round.
No, we're still in.
Okay,
so we made it into the knockout round, which was the round of 32.
Okay, so now we're in the round of 16.
And we won our first knockout round.
Okay.
Game. So
So from here on out, is it just
lose or go home, or win or go home?
So even the very last one will be they haven't lost from the knockout round.
Yeah, you go from 32 to 16 to 8-4, 2-1, and you're done. Okay. That's how it goes. So it's all knockout at this point, and there's no favoritism for the home team. I'm glad that somebody had the wherewithal to check that out, because I kind of thought I may be wrong about that with the the home team gets a freebie. It would make sense otherwise.
But at least they've earned their spot up to this point. Yeah. Now that they're there. So there were lots and lots of fans in California. So in fact, we talked about it here, the Bosnian community here, some of them were shutting down restaurants so that they could go be in California. Thank you for going. We appreciate it. And also there were fans there cheering for the USA, right? Of course.
I think the Bosnian team trained here.
Because they did.
There was a huge Bosnia-Herzegovina presence here because they were training here, and they brought out a lot of those fans from the world all over.
So of course, it's like any sibling rivalry. We'll vote for Bosnia as long as you're not fighting us, and then it was USA. So USA
it's like
won.
BYU. I like
BYU and the U
until they play the U.
That's right.
And they're not my favorite.
That is
team
right.
anymore.
That's right.
So did you learn about soccer?
Yes.
More than you needed to know?
Well,
thanks for indulging me in a sports section. I never get to do a sports segment.
We've got to wrap it up, but our listeners are going to know I just find it boring. Okay, in the next hour, we're going to talk about some Utah Fire Watch and toxic conditions facing firefighters. Stay with us.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. KSL's top story: officials are urging firefighters who battled the iron fire to thoroughly clean their gear, saying there's a chance they were exposed to lead. That's because the fire was burning close to Eureka, and the soil near the historic Eureka Mills Tintic mine is heavily polluted with lead and potentially other metals like mercury, arsenic, and thallium. Fire officials say at this point they aren't worried about any firefighters getting super sick, but they want to take all the precautions. Firefighters battling the iron and cherry fires got a welcome visit from some furry friends. Therapy dogs with golden healers visited the Santaquin Fire Camp to offer support to the team. The visit offered some much-needed relief after 3 firefighters working on other fires died over the weekend.
Some of them ran over. They were so excited to see the dogs.
CEO of Golden Healers, Mike Carlson, says the firefighters loved the visit. The group plans to continue the work and visit more wildfire camps and other first responders. Our top national story this hour from ABC News: a breakaway group of Catholics in rural Switzerland have now been kicked out of the church.
During a ceremony this week, 4 bishops were ordained by an ultra-conservative sect of Catholics known as the Society of St. Pius X. The group opposes calls to modernize the Catholic Church and rejects the reforms that were adopted as a part of Vatican II. The ordinations came with a threat that the new bishops would be kicked out of the church forever, and this week, Pope Leo XVI did just that. He accused the bishops and those who ordained them of creating a schism, which means an intentional break with the church, and then he had them excommunicated. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Your money at this moment. The Dow is up 365 points at this hour. We're at 52,670. Coming up, we'll get up to 90 degrees today, and it gets hotter from there. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:02.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
911, coming exactly what happened.
My son and his wife and their 2 children haven't responded.
Susan Powell disappeared on a snowy morning in 2009.
And I said, Josh, where are you? You need to get home.
And her husband will never be held accountable.
Your wife is missing, Josh.
Yeah, but I've always...
And you want to think about it for a couple of days?
I'd had this overwhelming feeling that he had done something to her already.
I'm Dave Cawley, host of the podcast Cold.
Then he starts making phone calls to Susan's phone.
Hello, Susan. We are on our way back.
It's the deepest of deep dives into this tragic tale of abuse.
Where was Josh when Susan disappeared?
I don't know. Of one mother's desperate attempt to escape.
This is me, covering all my bases.
Help prevent it from happening again.
Our focus has and continues to be finding Susan.
Listen and learn by following Cold wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Auto loan rates as low as 4.74% APR. And here's Cormac Bone.
Pretty good roadways starting off your midday commute. No delays on I-15 between Ogden and Provo. A little slow eastbound I-80 in the Mountaindale Reservoir area, but otherwise it's regular slowdowns to expect. Northbound Bangerter Highway at the 201 freeway, just a little slow. While you're planning your day, plan for comfort too with the Good Feet store. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Partly cloudy today with a 20% chance of showers. We'll get up to 90 degrees, 94 for the July 4th holiday, 99 on Monday. Right now it's 75 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio. Utah Fire Watch.
Yeah, we have to go through this now. Utah Fire Watch for 2 weeks, and it's not getting any better. But firefighters working on the Iron Fire burning near Eureka may have been exposed to some toxic hazards while fighting the fire and cleaning up the areas afterwards.
So in a new letter sent out to crews who were on the fire, state and federal officials say it's because of the Eureka Mills Superfund site and surrounding areas.
Yeah, it must have been a mine or something.
Yeah,
that soil
absolutely.
near the historic
Yep.
Eureka Mills and the Tintic mine, I know right where that is heavily polluted with lead and potentially other metals like mercury, arsenic, and thallium. Oh, great. So there's an increased risk that those fire crews may have been exposed to those items because, as you know, when the ground gets hot, the smoke comes up, those things are brought into the air.
So I want to know what kind of precautions, what kind of things are happening now to try and protect fire crews. So we're going to chat with Incident Commander Cliff McClure. Thanks for joining us, Commander.
Good being on with you.
So this must be tough to hear, but now firefighters involved in that area, because they were so close to those mines with the tailings and whatnot, that they have increased of being exposed to toxins. What is that? Is that something that's uncommon, or is that something to be expected in some of these fires?
Mostly uncommon in a lot of the areas, but being, we're in an area that's, of course, a lot of people know a lot of mining or prior mines in that area. It is becoming a concern. And again, we were notified probably 3 days into our tenure after taking the fire over that this was a previous Superfund site.
So, Commander, I had, of course, not considered that before. So are there additional precautions now that you know that this is potential?
Yeah, so as soon as we were notified, which had been probably June 25th, we pulled everybody away from that area and stopped any line construction or digging in that time until we had further conversations with the experts, including USGS, EPA, Department of Interior, Health and Occupation, and the state. And so we continue to hold everybody away from that area with moving any type of dirt.
So, Commander, what you're saying is once you learned it was a Superfund site, even though the fire's still going forward, you had to pull crews at least for the time being away until you could figure out what the hazard was to them and how to mitigate that, right?
Correct. In a way, it wasn't that we wasn't engaging the fire. It was strictly fight the fire with water or aircraft at that time. We wasn't going to put line construction in with heavy equipment.
And then once you learned about the Superfund site, what kind of precautions could you do for your firefighters at that point? I assume masks and stuff, but boy, that's hard to fight a fire when you're wearing a mask.
Yes, that is definitely part of it. A lot of the, I guess what you'd say, experts put down for precautions, and even after that is, laundering the clothes, getting all their PPE, which is, when we say PPE, that's personal protective equipment, getting that washed, cleaned up, making sure they're wiping down their vehicles. Most of it has to do with the dirt and the dust.
So are there any firefighters who are showing any kind of symptoms for being exposed to some of the things that might have been disturbed?
We have had none to date.
I assume, Commander, that because Utah is so rich with a mining heritage, that there are probably other fires. I mean, it's just something you have to be aware of anytime you're out there in the field, right?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, I mean, Utah, you forget a lot of these mines aren't even active anymore, Holly, but you have the tailings, you have other things that could really lead to problems for something you don't even think about. We don't, but the guys like Cliff McClure do.
So Commander, do you know, was this Superfund site, had it ever been cleaned up? Do you know?
So after talking with, the U.S. Geological Survey and EPA, yes, the Eureka Mill site was cleaned up by the EPA, ran through, now with kind of some of their new guidelines, that site has kind of come back up on the map. That's the reason the USGS contacted us. And it's not so much, that they're concerned about it, but with their new guidelines, they're doing some more testing, more frequent testing of the area just to make sure everything's staying where it's at. We have had the state of Utah Fire Marshal's office. They went up and did some testing up around that area for us, and everything was still in below the levels.
Can you tell our listeners what the status of that fire is right now? That one's been going for quite some time, and I think that the town was evacuated for some time, but the people are back into the town. But we're hearing that they may be on alert, that they may have to evacuate again. Is that true, or can you just tell us where that fire sits right now?
Okay, so, with the Iron Fire, the Iron Fire is sitting at 41,842 acres, and we do have it 98% contained. So what that means is we have containment line all the way around the fire. So that means we're pretty confident that fire will never escape the containment line. Right now, what we are concentrating on the Iron Fire is what we call rehab. So anywhere we put lines in with heavy equipment or hand line or any of that, we're trying to rehab them lines and, put the dirt back where it needs to be, protect things from washing out. So that is the main objective right now for a lot of the fire crews on there, is rehabbing what we put in for containment lines.
Do you... Can you just explain to our listeners your role as an incident commander? What do you oversee?
So as incident commanders, we oversee what we call the incident management team. So we come in, with operational folks. Them are most of the guys that are out on the ground that are fighting the fire. And then you have operational section chiefs that have several years of experience in battling wildfires. And they're kind of the ones that come up with the game plans or the plan of attack. Us as the incident commanders support. We're here to support everybody on the incident management team, including the boots on the ground. So when they're kind of needing things, we're the ones that deal with what we call land managers. So if it's the state, the county, federal, whether that be BLM, U.S. Forest, service or whatever, the incident commanders are normally dealing with them to seeing what, their protocols are going to be and how we can attack the fire. And of course, where them funds are actually being allocated from.
We've only got about a minute left here, but one question that continues to arise is how do we determine containment, like the percentage or the way, the amount of which a fire is being contained? Is it just that you've got a break in a certain area and it's not going to move in that direction anymore?
It's kind of that way. So we run things off of what we call dynamic containment. And how that goes is, let's say a fire runs up to a road and we really have zero possibility of that jumping the road or getting away from it. So we can kind of color that line on the fire black, or where we put dozer line in or hand line and was able to stop the forward progress of the fire. So after we consider the facts of, do we have high winds or anything that might be able to push that thing across the line that was installed, we put in a line which we call containment. Now, what that means is if Mother Nature forces our hand and it does happen to get across the road or one of them lines, then you can see containment go down. So just, as we say, okay, we have 98% containment, let's say that Mother Nature does force our hand and it gets out on somewhere, you might see that containment go down to 75%.
Oh, so it can change up and down.
Thank you so much for that. That was Incident Commander Cliff McClure talking to us about the iron fire down near Eureka. Next on Inside Sources, Utah Fire Watch, where I'm going to talk about a couple of stories that are, I think, a little heartwarming related to the fires. So stay with us.
What if I told you that 4 weeks from now, everything can feel different in your life? Your energy, your weight, and the way your clothes fit. That's what Soda Dynamic Diet is built to do. Right now, listeners can actually get 4 weeks free. So you can not only get 4 weeks off your belt line, but you can do it for free if you call 866-800-SODA and mention KSL News Radio. Let me tell you why I know this program works is because it worked for me. I signed up for Soda. I lost 18 pounds in 4 weeks and stayed with the program for a couple more weeks. I'm still involved with it now, actually. And I lost 30 pounds altogether, and I've kept the weight off. I've been now on the program for about three and a half months. I like the program because it's based on diet and not medication. I like the program because I have a nutritionist. It's not something I do on my own. I like the diet because I can get everything I need at my local grocery store. I don't have to buy anything through any specific program or anything like that. Soda teaches you, and they taught me how to eat, how to keep the weight off for good. Soda has worked for me. It'll work for you. 866-800-SOTA. Say it with me. Soda is state of the art.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Well, America's 250th birthday is just around the corner, as you know, and here at KSL, we're taking the chance to look back on the ingenuity and determination of innovators who've helped build our country.
Yeah, Utah Cornerstones recognizes legacy companies and business builders here in Utah as KSL celebrates America 250.
And we have with us in studio Ben Fox, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Alsco Uniforms. Thanks for joining us, Ben.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So as long as I can remember, in Utah, I've seen the green Alsco trucks driving around with uniforms, linens. I think even for a while I worked for an auto parts store that you supplied some of the products for us. But tell us about Alsco, because you've been a part of Utah community for a long time.
Absolutely. They've been a part of the community since 1895. We're currently headquartered down here on 5th East and 2nd South. But we have 81 facilities across North America now. 3 located in Utah, 1 here right in Salt Lake City.
So I want to ask, 1895, is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's before Utah became a state.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize that until I was at the Capitol a few years back. I'm like, oh, Utah became a state in 1896, and
Yeah.
Alsco got here in 1895.
So tell us what's the secret to sticking around for so long?
Yeah, so it's fifth generation family owned. And that's pretty shocking in today's world to have 5 generations privately holding a company. And so in 1889, George Steiner started the company in Lincoln, Nebraska, actually. And when corn prices went through the floor, no one wanted his towels anymore. So a good buddy of his from college said, hey, come to Utah. We got a little boom going on here. So in 1895, he showed up. His first customer was Rigby Brothers Market on Main Street.
Wow.
And he's grown, I don't know if he realized how big the company would be, 136 years later, but it's pretty wild how they've stuck around, but family owned. And that's, I think, the key.
Yeah, a big part of our community. And it's been a wonderful program to see grow and continue to develop in Utah. Hey, do you mind sticking around with us?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll bring you back in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Any Hour Services can make sure your AC keeps you cool this summer. Whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Everything to my back is dark.
High in the alpine wilderness.
Really ugly clouds coming over from the north.
A place
The ridgeline is imposing, the escarpments, the drops.
where survival
It's dark now. I have nothing.
is never certain.
This is not good.
My name's Dave Cawley, and I'm the host of a podcast called Uinta Triangle. It's about the disappearance of an Australian hiker named Eric.
Our conclusion, and that of the sheriff, is that the mountains have decided to keep him.
Come retrace Eric's footprints with me.
You have done this walk too, but this is your backyard.
Did he really make a wrong turn, or did he decide that he was done?
He is not the first or last person to vanish in this remote region.
It was haunting to see the photos. I mean, really.
Find and follow the podcast series Uinta Triangle. That's Uinta, spelled U-I-N-T-A, Triangle, wherever you get your podcasts. All episodes out now.
Inside Sources.
We're not supposed to play the
The
Star
Dawn's Early
Spangled
Light.
Banner.
Look, there
What am
was
I doing
fire.
wrong?
There was fire with the Dawn's Early Light, right? So, but we're still talking about Utah's fire watch. As of this morning, there have been almost 400 wildfires around the state this season. 38 still have unknown causes. And that means people just, like, officials don't know if they were caused by people or natural elements.
Do I get to play the Star Spangled Banner later?
I hope so.
Okay, I played it at the wrong time. But anyway, what kinds of things made fire investigations so difficult is a question we're asking.
Well, there's just a couple of stories, right? So there were a couple of stories. We've talked about the Utah fires a lot. We've talked about the fireworks bans. We've talked about the homes and buildings lost, and in the Cottonwood fire. But I was intrigued by this story with the headline, "Why Some Utah Wildfires Stay Listed as Cause Unknown for Weeks or Months." And I think the bottom line is because it's an issue of resources, a resource allocation. But I find it interesting that it's something like 80+% have been human caused. Now, I don't know how many were quote unquote deliberate, meaning they were intentionally setting a fire hoping it would catch, and how many were maybe neglectful or accidental. I don't know that breakdown. I do know we have something like 50 that were started by lightning, including a really big one right now. But then there's these ones where they just don't know.
Yeah, when I was at the district attorney's office, Holly, I spent a couple years on what we called the arson fraud task force, meaning I worked arson cases. Now, these weren't wildland fires,
Sure.
but we had these experts and these investigators, and they do statewide, even for wildland fires. They could determine things based on what they would do, go into a situation, determine the cause of the fire, and because sometimes we'd have people that burn their own home or burn their car, doing something like that. But these investigators, and I am sure that the dynamics are different when you're talking about wildland fires, but they have a way of finding out how it started and what brought it to get to where it was.
See, and that's incredible to me, right? I mean, I've watched TV shows, so I know that fire investigators on home fires can say, look, there was an accelerant that was used.
Right.
We're able to see this here. We think it started here. I think one of the things to note is that fire doesn't actually burn everything.
Right.
It burns a lot, but it doesn't always burn everything. And so, my question is, well, how on a wildland fire, say it burns 70,000 acres, how do you even determine the point of origin? I guess you start to go back in the data. Once the fire's out and the firefighters are safe, you can go back and look. But I'm looking at Eric Cabrera's story here on KSL News Radio, and he said investigators can look for trees that show signs of a lightning strike, but they can also look for cigarette butts. Mm-hmm. They can look for matches, metal fragments, maybe from a trailer chain or engine parts that might have created sparks. And they have dogs that can smell traces of petroleum products.
Right. And of course, when the fire starts, you have at least a point of origin. Even if it is an acre or 2 or 3, you don't have to wait till it gets to the 80,000. So at least you can pinpoint. I know pinpoint in 10 acres isn't exactly a pinpoint, but it's
right.
better than 80,000.
Right.
And then you could at least have a focus area where the investigators can go in and say, of course, once it's cleared out, let's look at this area and see what's there. Is there a campfire there? Is there, a smoldering cigarette? Boo-boo.
I don't know that there would be. I mean, but still, yeah. I mean, I think that's interesting. And they're just, I don't, I mean, I guess let me ask this. Does it matter how the fire started?
I think it does. I think investigators like to know human caused versus nature caused. I think part of it is because human caused, you may have a culprit, you may have somebody that can help you mitigate it and pay for it, and
yeah, except we know that doesn't actually work.
No, it doesn't work. But I think it's important for firefighters to know, so that you can make plans in the future. What's causing these fires? If it's lightning strikes or if it's something like that, you at least know where you're going.
Sure. I have to tell you another story I thought that was lighter. It was kind of funny. It's our friends over at Fox 13, but they showed a map and what containment means. So you just asked what containment means, but they had somebody explaining it to them using a map of the 100-acre wood from Winnie the Pooh. I just think that's funny, right? So you ever seen a map of Winnie the Pooh, the 100-acre woods where Winnie the Pooh lives? Do you know who Winnie the Pooh is?
Oh no, I do know Winnie the Pooh.
Okay, so there's
Tigger too.
Okay, Tigger. So anyway, they used this map to show, here's a threat, here's a line, here's where the wind is coming from, and there's the containment. And they drew it over a map of where Winnie the Pooh lives, which I thought was very cute and clever, and a way for people like me to easily understand. All right, there was another story too, which I really liked, and this was a story about therapy dogs. I love therapy dogs. I wasn't going to be a dog person. You know that story, but now I love dogs. Therapy dogs were taken down to be with firefighters battling that big Iron Cherry fire. So they've joined now, but the therapy dogs went down. So they just have an opportunity.
But the firefighters just hang out with them when they're...
Yeah, they do.
They sure wouldn't want them on the line of fire.
No, they're not on the line.
But that makes sense, yeah.
But they have a chance to visit. So in the dining areas, gathering spaces, rest areas, they're not out on the fire line. But they're Golden Healers is the Utah nonprofit that took these dogs down. And, when we did our thing for Primary Children's, we had therapy dogs come in, and they were all sizes. But it can be, there's just something about dogs. I don't know. I turned into a dog person.
Last year when they had that big fire near Cusharam in Wayne County and Sevier County, I forget the name of the fire, but I drove through that area and drove by the camp where the firefighters were staying. It was just a big parking lot. It was like a church field or something like that. But I thought to myself, what do these men and women do at night?
Yeah.
And I thought, now that you mention it, something like a therapy dog, something like that would just be such a relief.
Just a reprieve, right? A break.
To get away from it. Because they're outside, even when they're sleeping, I mean, not the flames, but the smoke was in the air. I mean, they can't go 100 miles away. They're 5 miles away. And then they get up in the morning, jump in a truck, and the conditions are hot, dirty, and dangerous.
As we know from last weekend, right, where we lost 3 of our wildland firefighters. Yeah, I just, these stories, right, of what people are doing these are therapy dogs. I know that I've seen multiple stories about people who are donating to the families of the fallen firefighters. I know that local communities have done a lot to reach out and support not only the firefighters, but the people who were displaced by some of these fires. Look, the Cottonwood fire, that's the one that is, I think at last look, it was 94,000 acres. It's destroyed 100 plus buildings, including condos, including, I told you my friend has a cabin there. So those are some real heart-wrenching issues, right? And one of the things, again, I love about Utah is we do step up in times of need. We do.
You know, one of the things that's sad about Utah is we have the major fires in the country right now. I think we have the biggest one, and by total acreage, we probably have the most.
Yeah.
It's just it's really sad what's happening in Utah, but it is refreshing to see the number of people that are volunteering, the people that are jumping in, the communities that are stepping up to the plate. I mean, we had to evacuate an entire town a while ago.
Twice.
But people stood up and took care of them.
Yeah. So we have over 328,000 acres, almost 329,000 acres that have burned so far this season. And we have a really active fire right now. That is, that's the one, it's the Babylon fire. It's 70,000 acres. It just started on the 26th. So what was that, last weekend?
Yeah.
And it jumped 20,000 acres between Tuesday and Wednesday. Just that one is 0% contained. So we were talking about that earlier. Anyway, please don't light the state on fire this weekend. It's
be careful.
doing it all by itself.
You missed my Yogi Bear reference, by the way.
I'm sorry.
You can't even think of it now, but
I
it was
can't.
great. Some of our somebody text me and tell me what it was. All right, coming up on Inside Sources. I get to play some music now. America 250. It's just about time for all the celebrations for our country's special anniversary. We have special coverage for the rest of our show today, starting just after this.
10:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, with it now being July, Utah State has officially joined the Pac-12 Conference. Utah State University President Brad Mortensen tells the KSL Sports Zone they're looking forward to what they can make out of this new opportunity.
The assets that we have from the previous version of the Pac-12 in terms of media production and broadcast production and those things, we think that's an opportunity for us to really leverage and push the boundaries of what college athletics can be like in the future.
The Aggies football team will play their first game as a member of the Pac-12 on September 5th. Conference play begins in Boise on October 3rd. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. The Trump administration plans a big fireworks display in D.C. for America's 250th birthday. But the administration is also reportedly eyeing the prospect of dangerous air pollution as a result.
The late-night pyrotechnic display is expected to last 40 minutes, making for the biggest fireworks show in memory on the National Mall. But the Washington Post reports the revelry could prompt respiratory issues. The paper cites internal National Park Service documents urging against prolonged exposure to the particulate matter from the 850,000 explosives, saying the fireworks could lead to elevated levels of pollution in D.C. for 3 to 6 hours after the show.
ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy. Your money at this moment. The Dow is up 329 points this morning. We're at 52,634. Coming up, it looks like we'll hit 90 degrees today. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:32. Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Well, America's 250th birthday is just 2 days away, and we here at KSL are taking the chance to look back on the ingenuity and determination of innovators who have helped build our country.
Utah Cornerstones recognizes legacy companies and business builders here in Utah as KSL celebrates America 250.
And so we're back with Ben Fox, Vice President in Sales and Marketing for Alsco Uniforms. And tell us, Ben, you do more than just uniforms. That's what I know Alsco as, uniforms, but you do a lot more than that.
Yes. So if you've ever been to a restaurant and you used a napkin or a tablecloth, that's Alsco Uniforms. If you've ever walked over a floor mat, that's Alsco Uniforms.
Wow.
So we do a lot of products and services within many businesses throughout Utah.
Let me ask you this. Do you use cloth napkins at your home, Ben?
Golly, I need to, right? But then I'd have to do the laundry.
So a restaurant can just give it all to you, and you take care of it and bring us back the clean stuff the next day, and we'll set it up.
Yeah, sometimes you don't realize who's doing the laundry at all these businesses.
Yeah.
But it's Alsco Uniforms that does them for many businesses, not just in Utah, but around North America.
You have some really big partnerships. What are some of those that you want to talk to us about?
Yeah, so the biggest one we have is over at the Delta Center. We are the official mop crew for the Utah Jazz.
Oh, wow.
So if you're ever watching a Jazz game, the mop crew is sponsored by Alsco Uniforms. But throughout the stadium, you're going to see our floor mats, our chef coats, our uniforms on the custodial employees, the napkins, and all that fun stuff throughout the club rooms. So yeah, Alsco does a lot for the Delta Center as well as America First Field down there with Real.
Well, that's a soccer season, right? I know that's
the mop
a
crews
thing right
are
now.
guys that run out on the field when somebody slips and slides on the floor.
Yes, so
right?
when there's a little sweat on the floor, they're out there. They got it
I've always
covered.
wanted to do that. That seems like a good gig.
Slip in the sweat.
I think we could line that up.
There we go.
Let's contact our Jazz people.
Yeah, there you go. Stick around. We need you for one more.
Love it.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Ben.
Ready for an adventure millions of years in the making? Enter KSL News Radio's America 250 contest for your chance to win an unforgettable dinosaur country getaway. One lucky winner will enjoy a 2-night stay at Dinosaur Inn and Suites. Explore Dinosaur National Monument, experience an exciting 4-person Green River rafting trip, and take on a thrilling guided Via Ferrata adventure in Ashley Gorge. Sponsored by Uintah County. Enter today at ksl.com/win.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. You deserve to love where you bank. And here's Cormac Bone.
Roadways have pretty much completely eased out. No delays on all our major freeways across the Wasatch Front. I-80 between Tooele County and Summit County, no delays either. Just regular slowdowns to expect. Eastbound 2100 north in Lehigh from Redwood Road over to I-15. Some scattered delays in that construction zone. Common Spirit, hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advanced healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with Human Kindness is here. Hello, Human Kindness. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
It'll be partly cloudy today with a high of 90 degrees, 94 for July 4th, up to 99 to start next week. Right now, it's 75 degrees downtown. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Now I get to play the Star Spangled Banner. I jumped the gun. This is our own Tabernacle Choir, doing it as well as you can. Well, the country takes a pause this weekend to honor, remember, and celebrate our 250th birthday.
So America 250, you and I don't have a show tomorrow, although the movie show will be live. But we want to spend the rest of our show today celebrating our country's special birthday.
Yeah, and with everything that is going on in our country right now and all the challenges and whatnot that's happening in our country, we really do have a lot to celebrate.
There's some things that are really fun. So I will be going with some family members to the Freedom Festival, or the big one down in Provo. But one of the things I think that everybody gets to enjoy, or not everybody, but a lot of people in Utah this year, is the flyover that is happening coming out of Hill Air Force Base. So they're making, I think, a much bigger display this year, trying to hit a lot of different communities.
We'll be at our normal 4th of July haunt, which is down in Torrey. We've got a place down there, and I love small town celebrations of events like the 4th and the 24th. It's just so fun.
Small towns are kind of really fun in their own unique way, for sure.
The flyover is geese, however, down there, but we don't get to see the...
Well, look, so they go so fast. So there's a whole trajectory, of course, that they're going to do, but it's really fun. If you want to see their route, you can go to kslnewsradio.com and you can see the flyover schedule. They'll start about 8:30 in the morning, and they'll end up about 11:30 in the morning. So they're going to start up in Riverdale, of course, up close to Hill Air Force Base. Go down Utah County, Vernal, Torrey, 925.
Serious?
Yeah.
All right.
You should go out and look.
On the 4th?
On the 4th.
I guess when you have something flies that fast, you can do the whole state.
You can do the whole state, and then they're gonna come loop back around Tooele, Riverton, West Jordan. This is about 10:45, and end up flying over Park City about 11:30.
Seriously. Torrey at 9:25?
Torrey at 9:25 a.m.
Saturday
But they're
morning.
going from Vernal 9:03, Torrey 9:25.
Oh, my word.
Can you imagine?
Imagine that?
That is fast. It's fun. That's fast. So there's another thing that I saw too. So if you go to a Utah State Park this weekend, there are 46 state parks. If you go there, you can do a bounce back opportunity. So you can bounce back to another state park free of charge. It does not include the golf courses, sorry, but it's actually on the July 4th, which is Saturday. If you show up at any of the state parks, you can bounce back either sometime between August 3rd and 6th. So one pass per vehicle. So state parks are fun. 46.
Keep in mind one thing about state parks is that they are under a stage 2 fire restriction, which
They are.
means no open fires of any kind. Again, wildfires, we've talked about fires a lot. I don't want to put a damper on the excitement, but just no fires. Just stay away from fires this weekend if you're going down to our state parks.
And anywhere, really. I mean, Andy Farnsworth was saying that his neighborhood, they usually do a cul-de-sac of fire, which, everybody brings their fireworks. They're not doing that this year. This year, they're doing an outdoor movie on an inflatable screen, which is still neighborhood, togetherness, potluck. We're going to talk about potlucks later. But it's an opportunity. And I do have to say this one note on this weekend potentially. Any Swiftie fans have been watching news, and in fact, I got an urgent thing from the Associated Press.
I thought you were going to breaking news
It's
today.
not breaking.
I know, thank
it's
goodness.
not breaking, but it's this urgent news from the Associated Press saying they think Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are getting married tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden. They think. I think it might be a fake.
If you're going to have a garden party, you got to give people a little notice.
Well, they have a very personal, exclusive guest list, I'm quite sure.
Yeah, well,
it could be a total fake. They could be getting married somewhere else. I don't even know.
Right.
But just in case, if you don't have enough to do this weekend, you can keep your eye out for Swiftie news. There's also some other things, too. So there was an article that I saw from the University of Utah just talking about America's 250. There's also something out from the Kim C. Gardner Policy Institute about America's 250th in Utah. So U.S. and Utah population. So in 1790, 14 years after the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the first census took place, which surprises me. I'm surprised they didn't do that before. So the population of the United States in 1790 was 3,929,625 people. That's almost what we have in Utah now.
Right.
It is.
That was our entire country's population.
Yeah. In 2025, and remember, they didn't count everybody, but in 2025, the population of the U.S. was 314 million people. So in Utah, our very first census didn't happen, our very first official census, because I'm sure we knew how many people were here, but it didn't happen until after statehood. And so we had, this sounds so quaint, 276,749 people in 1900.
I wonder if that probably didn't include the native population.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So we're 3.5 million right now. So
just like 10 times, 15 times. I mean, that's exciting. I mentioned no fires. I do want to qualify that because according to the state parks, devices using pressurized liquid or gas fuels such as stoves, grills, or lanterns with a shutoff valve are allowed to be used when they're at least 3 feet away from flammable material. So if you have a little portable stove or something like that, you can use that.
Okay, well, that's good to know. All right, I just wanted to do some other fun facts, right? So just on America's 250, there are just so many opportunities, I think, to share. How many governors has the state of Utah had? I'm not asking for any prizes. There's no prizes here.
20? I thought it was a riddle and you were going to give me a Tootsie Roll or something because you brought all that food, that celebratory food that we're going to talk about later. I thought you were going to share one.
No, but we just haven't had that many, right? Governor Cox is only the 18th governor that we've ever had in the state.
How close was I, though?
You were so close.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? We were so close. So early on, it used to be like we did have some crossover between some of the religious and not religious people in Utah. Early territorial governor was Brigham Young, but he wasn't the first governor. We've also had some prominent Utahns hold positions nationally. So Ezra Taft Benson was the Secretary of Agriculture. That was a long time ago, right? This was 1953 to 61. But of course, we also have more recently, we have Mike Leavitt. He was the EPA administrator, and then he became the Secretary of Health and Human Services, if you remember that. And when Governor Leavitt stepped down to take that position, that was when Olene Walker became the first and only female governor of the state of Utah.
And wasn't Mike Leavitt just wonderful yesterday in that?
In our town hall. And we did have a listener, a texter, tell us that they really enjoyed that. But yeah.
That was a lot of fun yesterday. Mike Leavitt.
We also had Brian King, then Abby Finlayson. So Gabby. So we had this panel, and Doug Wright ran the panel, but the questions came from a variety of organizations, and I thought that was so interesting. They were there in Studio A with us. They had an opportunity to share their questions, get these answers, and I think it's such an important conversation right now.
Yeah, and it's available on KSL.com and on KSL's YouTube page.
Absolutely.
If you didn't see it, if you weren't able to see it yesterday, it was really something else.
And we only have a few seconds left, but let me just say this. Derek Brown, our Attorney General, he penned an op-ed for the Deseret News, and he said the Declaration of Independence is more than America's birth certificate. It was and is America's statement of first principles, and he said we still rely on it today, and I agree with that.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much. When we come back, we're going to be talking with the person who flies the largest flags in the state of Utah. We're going to talk about the American flag as part of our America 250 coverage coming up.
Murphy's Law says that if your air conditioner is going to break down this summer, it's going to be when you least expect it and at the worst possible time. And for a lot of homeowners, the fear isn't just the breakdown. It's worrying about what happens next. Is this going to cost a fortune? Am I going to be pressured into replacing it? Can somebody just help me figure out what's wrong? At Any Hour Services, that's exactly what we're here for. Maybe your system just needs maintenance to help prevent breakdowns before they happen. Maybe a part failed, and a simple repair gets you back up and running quickly. Or maybe your system's getting older, repairs are adding up, and you think replacing it makes more sense. Whatever the situation, we'll walk you through your options, answer your questions, and make sure you have the information you need to make the decision that's right for your home and your budget. Maintenance, repair, or replacement, you choose what's right for you. That's how Any Hour Services works. Options, not pressure. Call Any Hour Services next time you need help with your air conditioner. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
As part of America's 250th celebration, here at KSL, we're taking the opportunity to really focus on some of the innovators who helped build our country and our state.
Yep, Utah's Cornerstone recognizes legacy companies and businesses builders right here in Utah as we celebrate America's 250.
And one of those legacy companies and builders, I think, is Alsco Uniforms. And Ben Fox, Vice President of Sales and Marketing, back with us. Thanks again, Ben.
Love it.
I wonder if we can just have you talk to us a little bit about some of the problems that you solve for businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. Most businesses don't want to handle their dirty laundry, right? They want to take
literally.
Right. Most don't want to do it in their house, but let alone at work every day, right? So we kind of take that whole stress off you so that you can focus on your customers and building your business the way you dreamed about and the way you wanted to. And so our route sales representative every week delivers fresh, clean linens, uniforms, floor mats, mops, whatever you need. You put them in a bag, we take them back, and we wash them at our facility. We do that on a regular basis, and so businesses can manage their business, and we can manage the laundry.
I cannot think of very many Utah businesses that have been around, Ben, since 1889. What is it about Alsco? I remember your green trucks as long as I've been able to work, but what's the secret?
Yeah, I ultimately think it is the fact that we provide an essential service, right? And we do it in a reliable and consistent way. And our route sales representative who shows up in that big green truck every week is kind of a lifeline to that business owner. And hey, I'm here to take the burden of washing linen off of you. And it's reliable. We show up with our full line of products, from napkins to first aid supplies to restroom supplies. You're kind of a one-stop shop, and I think business owners appreciate you taking that burden off of them.
We're almost out of time, but I want to ask you really quickly, how does your company, how does that support sustainability?
Absolutely. So you walk into some doctor offices or even restaurants and they're using paper napkins, right? It's a disposable product. It's a product that's going to end up in our landfill. We rewash and reuse these products multiple times. And so it kind of prevents that stuff from becoming waste later on. So for business owners looking to be sustainable, we're a great option as well.
All right. Thanks, Ben from Alsco, and you can check it out, alsco.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, a gripping new 9-part investigative podcast about a serial killer you've probably never heard of, Warren Forrest, a sadistic predator who prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He hid behind the deeds of Ted Bundy, and he's only been convicted of 2 murders, but is suspected of many more. Since the release of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, a witness identified in the podcast could lead investigators to the remains of Jamie Grissom.
He ran into the woods. He said he stumbled. As he fell down, he looks up and sees the body of a young woman.
And now the FBI is testing forensic evidence that had been collecting dust for decades. This cold case is now red hot. Binge the entire season of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley right now, wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the latest breaking news.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
There are many times I thought, I can't do this. I mean, what parent isn't worried about, what am I not doing right? What am I not doing enough? And then I realized, wait, that's being a parent.
Don't worry about being perfect. I've had around 3 other mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's giving me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Everything to my back is dark.
High in the alpine wilderness.
The ridgeline is imposing the escarpments, the drops.
A place where survival,
it's dark now, I have nothing,
is never certain. In 2011, an Australian hiker vanished.
Did he really make a wrong turn, or did he decide that he was done?
You have done this walk too, but this is your backyard.
The mountains have decided to keep him.
Find and follow the podcast series Uinta Triangle, wherever you get your podcasts.
and expanded Inside Sources.
So, of course, as we celebrate the country's 250th anniversary of signing the Declaration of Independence, a lot of people will be flying the Stars and Stripes.
And here along the Wasatch Front, we have something really special. These massive American flags hanging in the mouths of some of our big canyons.
So America 250, I want to talk about the group Follow the Flag. They'll unfurl a massive flag in Grove Creek Canyon in Pleasant Grove on Saturday morning.
I have no idea how sometimes they get some of these flags up there that really breach an entire
I can tell you, and so can our
canyon.
guest.
Yeah, so let's get our guest in. We have Follow the Flag co-founder Kyle Fox with us. Kyle, thanks for joining us this morning.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Happy to be on.
I have to say this, Kyle is my neighbor.
Okay.
Woohoo! So Kyle, look, Greg just asked the question, how do you get these massive flags up the canyon? Sometimes it's boy power.
Yeah, we did start with Boy Scouts, but here's the beauty in all of this is a massive undertaking, and there's a kind of a neat message in all this too, as we could go on and on and on about this, but it takes many of us. So there are drone pilots that fly strings across the canyon, and then there's experts with ropes, search and rescue teams that run ropes, and then there are people that dream stuff like this up, and then there's muscle, and then there's people that sew. I mean, it takes all sorts of walks of life to come together to fly this American banner of freedom.
I have to imagine, Kyle, that some of these flags of those dimension must be incredibly heavy, and I just can't imagine the kind of a tension that must be on the ropes and corners and the things that are holding the flag together. I mean, these things must be made out of some pretty beefy material.
Well, a couple things. We are super, super lucky to have one of the biggest flag makers in the West in our backyard at Colonial. So they have been so awesome to make us these flags. However, over the years, we have learned that a 450-pound, quarter-acre American flag doesn't fly like the rest of them do. It took about 6 years before we decided we needed to start thinking like sailors. And so where most flags have like a brass grommet that you would hook a carabiner through,
right,
there's so much pressure on those on corners and things. We have a system now that has like sewn in rope, and there's no steel components to it. And we had to create it like a sail, just to be simple. That was the only way to make it work. They just kept failing on us. And to this point now, we have most all these locations that fly flags are following kind of the same, sail type design for flying the flags in the canyon.
So Kyle, you mentioned it's a quarter acre. Can you give us the dimensions of the flag that will fly on Saturday morning?
You bet. One of the biggest dimensions that makes a lot of sense is a quarter acre. It is 150 feet by 78 feet, and it has 6-foot stripes. That was bolt of fabric we could find.
Wow.
So 6-foot stripes, and we have about 5-foot stars.
That's just amazing. So what can we expect? What can our people along the Wasatch Front look forward to this weekend?
Well, if you've followed us long enough, you know that we do things kind of big,
yes,
and we surprise often.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so no surprise.
You should know that Follow the Flag comes with something up their sleeve. So we are going to have a flag ceremony that is called the Dawn's Early Light. And it does begin at 7:30 in the morning, and arriving after 7, you're a little late because the crowds are here. There will be cannon fire. There will be the flag unfurling before your eyes because it starts in a sock. So it'll unfurl before your eyes. There will be a flyover. There will be a gospel choir. There will be cowboys on horses. There will be birds. There will be amazing people being honored in our country's 250. I can't see a better place to be on July 4th than here in Grove Creek.
So I have been there at least a time or two, and it's been really awesome. I wonder, is there something for somebody like Greg who's not going to be close to Pleasant Grove? Can he watch also?
Yeah, in fact, we have live broadcasts that we've been doing. It's a great broadcast that you can tune in on our Facebook page, Follow the Flag, or we have a YouTube link as well that will be available, and we can get that out to you to watch it from there.
So Grove Creek Canyon, that's east of Pleasant Grove, near where the big G is on the mountain?
Yes, and it's the left side of the G. And it's obvious once the flag's out. You can see it from across the valley. But when you're coming for the first time in the morning, it'll be the left side of the G as you're looking at the mountain.
Yeah, and you can see it from the highway. How long will that flag be up?
It will be up through Sunday the 12th will be the last full day to see it. We have some live music performances on the last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's the 10th, 11th, and 12th. And we have a 5K on the 11th as well. So lots of fun things up here to see and do. But there's a spirit that is palpable. People from all over the world speaking different languages and all walks of life. They walk out of here and stick their head in our information booth with tears and describe what they can't quite describe. It's something very powerful.
Have you got other flags that are coming around the state that other parts of our society could look at?
Yep. So this is a year that will probably never happen again in our lifetime because there are 5 communities that now on their own fly these giant American flags and annually. And so we have like a July group, which is us. There's a November, there's a September, and up into Idaho and St. George and all those. But this year for the 250, that is what I'm saying is once in a lifetime. Mm-hmm. All locations are going to be flying a big flag over the 4th. Ogden's going to be flying across 2 buildings on Washington Boulevard, Twin Falls across Snake River, Tuacahn down in southern Utah and Grove Creek. So there's over 60 days this summer that you will be able to find an American flag this size flying across the gap somewhere here in the West.
So, Kyle, you have to know we're coming to the end of this segment, but our next segment will be with Jenny Taylor, the widow of Brent Taylor, and I know that Follow the Flag has been involved with Jenny and her work, so I wanted to thank you for that.
Oh, we are a family. It's a big Follow the Flag, giant flag family, and we wouldn't be here if it weren't for her and the opportunities that we've been able to serve together. So make sure you tell her that we love her and support her, and we're arm in arm with them.
All right. Thank you so much, Kyle Fox with Follow the Flag. And stay with us. We will be talking about Gold Star families and what Independence Day means to them.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 11 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Cameron Elliott. KSL's top local story this hour. Officials say firefighters who battled the iron fire near Eureka may have been exposed to lead. That's because the soil around one of the historic mines is contaminated with lead and potentially other heavy metals. Great Basin Team 3 Incident Commander Todd Murray says firefighters know the risks of what they do, and something like this doesn't stop them from jumping in to defend the public.
Yeah, these folks are dedicated individuals and doing what they can and doing it so safely to minimize the impact.
Murray says at this point they aren't worried about any firefighters suffering from prolonged exposure or severe illness. He says they just want to make sure they take all the precautions. In other local news, several Utah cities are looking at large property tax hikes, stuck between raising prices and cutting programs. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis reports.
Ogden Valley has the largest proposed property tax increase at 506%, but they aren't the only ones. Eagle Mountain residents could face a 220% increase, Hilldale a 170%, and a 55% increase in Roy. There are others. Bountiful Mayor Kate Bradshaw tells KSL most towns rely on these taxes to fund essential services such as road and water repairs, as well as paying for damages from fires and covering the paychecks and supplies for those fighting them.
This year has seen major increases for supplies and damage caused by natural disasters, and those could be eating up budgets. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow Jones is up 291 points. That's 0.5%. The S&P 500 is down 41 points. That's also 0.5%. And the Nasdaq is down 358 points. That is 1.4%. Coming up, we're going to scrape 100 degrees this weekend. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 11:02.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
For 250 years, America has been built by hardworking people who believe in freedom, family, and community. At Performance Automotive in Bountiful, we're proud to celebrate that legacy during our Freedom to Drive sales event. Join us as we honor our military, first responders, and the families who make Utah strong. Take advantage of special savings, great trade values, and financing opportunities across our inventory. Performance Automotive in Bountiful, 250 years of American pride, and we're just getting started.
Higher taxes, soaring inflation, record low interest rates, and the skyrocketing cost of healthcare. The list goes on. Retiring successfully today is a lot more complicated than ever before. Learn how you could tackle the biggest challenges that you'll face in retirement today. Don't miss a special edition of Retirement Solutions Radio. It's this Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, right here on KSL, News Radio 1027.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon?
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. You deserve to love where you bank. Here's Ricky Meese.
On the Valley freeways, if you're traveling I-15, you're good to go both directions between Ogden and Provo. Right now, a crash-free commute on the freeways and main secondaries. However, for downtown drivers, Salt Lake City PD wrapping up a crash at 15th South and 3rd East. Ready to upgrade your kitchen? Visit one of Bedrock Quartz's modern showrooms or request a quote at bedrockquartz.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
The high today is going to be an even 90 degrees with a 20% chance of rain, and it's going to stay in the 90s clear through to next week with a low chance of rain Monday through Wednesday. Right now, though, it's 82 degrees and partly cloudy downtown. I'm Cameron Elliott from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Independence Day is a day of celebration, celebrating what makes our country great.
Yeah, but it's also a day for a bit of remembrance and honor, remembering what's helped build our country and the sacrifice that's made our freedom possible.
So for Gold Star families, those families who've lost loved ones in military service, the day can bring some mixed emotions.
Yeah, and so we want to spend the next hour, begin this hour at least, of Inside Sources with a discussion of that angle on America 250.
We have with us Jenny Taylor. She's a Gold Star widow and founder of the Major Brent Taylor Foundation. Thanks for joining us, Jenny.
Hey, thanks. Always great to be with you.
So, Jenny, I have to tell you, we just had Kyle Fox on from Follow the Flag, and he wanted to make sure that he knew that they love you and that they consider you
And
family.
right back at the Foxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Some
my-
of the best people this state has.
They are literally my neighbors. So it's really, really fun.
Oh, they
Small
are?
world.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Okay, fun. That
So
is
fun.
a small world.
So look, we've been talking a lot about the 250th anniversary, and you're always so willing to talk with us about some things that can be kind of hard. What's it like to focus on the founding of America while also knowing that your husband lost his life in the cause, really?
Yeah, I use the word bittersweet. You know, my husband's birthday is 2 days after the 4th of July. He died in November, so that following July was tough. That first one, America's first birthday after his death, his first birthday after his death. And it was so beautiful. We celebrated, we talked about who he was and what he stood for. We celebrate America and who we are and what we stand for. But it does come with a mix of emotions of the price of those freedoms. And I'll find myself kind of in that sadness, in that grief, in that sorrow, and then always propelled to action to say, okay, I do have the freedoms I have because people like my husband were willing to die for them. America can have a 250th birthday because for 250 years, men and women have put a uniform on to protect our rights to still just exist as a country. So it can be sad, it can be heavy, but I also find it really motivating and just exhilarating to think, look what we've been given. What in the world are we going to do with it? Let's get to work.
Have you been able to share, Jenny, with your children? You and Brent had 7, I believe. Just the
yes,
the importance of this day, the importance of patriotism, the importance of what your husband did for this country as they grow.
Yeah, that's a great question, Greg. Thank you. We have a lot of conversations in our house that have a lot of weight behind them. Of course, their father and I have loved this country since we were young. Brent wanted to be in the military his whole life. I think where he stands now and whatever far beyond this life there is, he's proud of his service and even honored to have been able to die in the cause of freedom. And my kids are aware every single day that the price of freedom isn't free. When you've got children of the military, and Holly, you're one of them, living or deceased, if you're the child in a military home, you don't need a 4th of July to remind you it's a heavy undertaking. You don't need Memorial Day to remind you that some people don't make it home alive. You don't need Veterans Day to remind you that military can take its toll on the individual and the family. But what we try to focus on in our home, and especially with my kids as they grow older, my young adults, my teenage children, trying to have them step into their father's viewpoint, that it wasn't that he abandoned us for the military. He didn't choose Afghanistan over our home. He was fighting for us, regardless of where it took him. And so if that would be my ultimate hope for them, because I know that's how he saw it, and that's how I loved and supported him through it. It wasn't me or the military. It was the military so that me and our children can be safe. And it wasn't, hey, I'm going to stand with a gun on our porch and keep my own family protected. It was, I'm going to take what my training has given me overseas to try to give other families those same freedoms. So does a child always understand that? No. As an adult, do I always like that? No. But when I'm willing to be honest and focus on it, do I appreciate that? Yes, absolutely.
Can you talk to us, Jenny, a little bit about the power of legacy? Like, what is the Brent Taylor Foundation? Tell us about that.
Thank you. I love the word legacy, and I love that our foundation's named after Brent, but Brent would be the first to tell me, don't you dare think this is his legacy. It's like Boyd Matheson used to always say, we can stand on the shoulders of giants because they stood on the shoulders of giants who went before them. Brent was proud to carry forward the American legacy, that those from Vietnam, Korea, World War II, prior to that. To him, he felt a kinship to those previous generations. And I think that's what we're trying to do in the Major Brent Taylor Foundation, is carry on his name and legacy while recognizing he's one of hundreds of thousands who've paid that price, to say nothing of the millions who've served in the military and are still alive, fortunately. And legacy to me is recognizing the past, learning from it, and looking for ways to carry forward in your way. I've never joined the military. I still feel I can be a patriot and live a piece of America's legacy. In or out of uniform, in or out of politics, in or out of any particular title or position, each of us can carry forward that legacy. Our founding fathers used the frame a more perfect union. Are we more perfect today than yesterday? Am I more perfect than I was last year? I hope so. Am I perfect? Heavens no, neither is our country, and that's okay. We're working together to try and get there. To me, that's what legacy is all about.
Jenny, you lost the love of your life, and a lot of people wouldn't have been able to do some of the things you've done since then, with not only just raising 7 children, but staying so active in the community and so active in what we do with our state and our country. You know, what's motivating you to continue to do this?
That's a great question, Greg. I'm motivated by the fact that people think I can do it, by people think that I can add a voice, a value to what's happening. There's days when I don't think I can do, or that it matters, or that what I'm doing is making any difference, or that I could even amount to anything. I think we all struggle with that self-doubt from time to time. And then I'll find people who think what I've done is helpful, who think the legacy I'm carrying forward connects back to their grandparents or the person they love and that they've lost or that's still serving in the military. And I'm motivated by the realization that it's not me at all. It's not just Brent. It's not just the Army. It's not just my generation of global war on terrorism fighters. We are Americans. And to be honest, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness don't only belong to America. We're really good at insisting that we have them. We're really good in fighting for them for other people, but they predate all of us. So I'm motivated by the love I've had for this country since I was a child. And I'm motivated by the God I believe is protecting each of us as human beings and just asking us to help each other out as we pursue life, liberty, and happiness together. But I'll tell you, I'm mostly motivated by the goodness in the people around me, people like Kyle Fox and all those who love America and what she stands for. And I'm motivated by the fact that we are not perfect as a union and we've got a lot of work to do. And I can either point fingers and sit back and be angry about that, or try to learn from it, dig in, and hopefully help improve it for the next generation.
Okay, I have one final question. When are you running for political office?
Never, bless your heart. I was married to it, and that was enough. And now my hat's off to all those who put their hat in the ring. I love, I support, I appreciate, and man, I don't know that I have the thick enough skin for what it requires, but happy to serve my country in my own way. I'm also not joining the military anytime soon, but I can still be a patriot. So I'll wear my hat, you wear yours, and hats off to all those who wear the hats they do.
Thanks,
God
Jenny.
bless them all.
Yeah,
hey, thank you both. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Happy 4th of July.
You too.
You too.
Yeah, Brent was the mayor of North Ogden.
He was. Yeah, when he was deployed, he was. So anyway, it was really great to hear from Jenny Taylor, and she's
been so much fun, and she's just been so great to talk to.
Do you remember when the 2 police officers were killed in Box Elder County?
Yes.
The very next morning, she was up there setting up flags.
Yeah.
Like
No
down the sidewalks and
No
stuff. And we talked to her there, and she had taken her kids with her, and she just said, this is one way that I feel like we can help support this community. Okay, so look, that was really awesome.
To those 7 children too.
Yeah.
She must be.
We're continuing to celebrate, of course, America's 250. It's also a great chance to look back on our history and think about the ways it can help direct our future. Our special coverage continues next.
Can you hear it? That's the sound of nature waking up in Box Elder County. Spring has sprung, and the first visitors are already here. From grebes to geese, Bear River Bird Refuge is alive with the sound of thousands of wings. And it's not just the birds who are invited. There's plenty for you to enjoy. Experience the world-class minerals at Crystal Hot Springs. Stand on the spot where the railroads joined and forged the destiny of a nation at Golden Spike National Historic Park. Check out the jaw-dropping murals up and down Tremonton's charming Main Street. The list goes on and on. Hungry? From fine dining to classic comfort food, Box Elder County has something that's sure to hit the spot. In Box Elder County, the air is fresher, the sky is wider, and spring is in full bloom. Come wake up your senses and plan your spring escape at visitboxeldercounty.com. Produced in partnership with the Utah Office of Tourism.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Call 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on sound money, later embodied by the gold standard. But we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have seen inflation erode the dollar's value. What's the foundation of your savings? Is it gold or something that can be devalued? Hi, it's Dr. Ron Paul, and I encourage you to speak with my friends at Birch Gold Group about diversifying an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Learn more by requesting a free info kit on gold IRAs. Just text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Let Birch Gold help you build your foundation with gold. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898. Text SECURE to 989898.
Any Hour Services can help unclog any drain in your house, whether you have a backup, a clog, or a slow drain you want fixed. Call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
Tell me about it. Did you have any idea that was going on?
None. I mean, you saw Derek at the game last night, too. Did you have a clue?
No, but you know, teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do. Kids hear first about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
It can be hard to tell sometimes, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, bullying, violence, anything, you need to tell an adult. Mom or me, a teacher, coach, school counselor, someone you know and trust.
Dad, no kid is gonna tell an adult about that kind of stuff.
I get it, but if we don't know, we can't help. Speaking up about a problem, that's what helping a friend is all about.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
911, tell me exactly what happened.
My son and his wife and their 2 children haven't responded.
Susan Powell disappeared on a snowy morning in 2009.
And I said, Josh, where are you? You need to get home.
And her husband will never be held accountable.
Your wife is missing, Josh.
Yeah, but
And you want to think about it for a couple of days?
I'd had this overwhelming feeling that he had done something to her already.
I'm Dave Cawley, host of the podcast Cold.
Then he starts making phone calls to Susan's phone.
Hello, Susan. We are on our way back.
It's the deepest of deep dives into this tragic tale of abuse.
Where was Josh when Susan disappeared?
I don't know. Of one mother's desperate attempt to escape.
This is me, covering all my bases.
Help prevent it from happening again.
Our focus has and continues to be finding Susan.
Listen and learn by following Cold wherever you get your podcasts.
And expanded Inside Sources. Inside Sources.
What could we learn about our history in a way that can help determine our future?
So with America 250, we're continuing our coverage today with a discussion on inscriptions. So it's not a normal part of our lexicon to talk about inscriptions, but if you go back to the nation's capital, you're going to see a lot of them, actually.
Yeah, and I had to think after you talked to me about this, what you meant by inscriptions.
Yeah.
But they're not just random. I mean, they're all over the place, and some of them are quite relevant. So let's talk about them, what we can learn from them as we head into Independence Day.
Well, we have with us in studio Clint, and I didn't ask you how you say your last name.
Ensign?
Ensign, Clint Ensign. And he wrote a book, so our cameras can see, America's Inscriptions. And what's so interesting to me is that you were the first one to say, hey, they're not even compiled anywhere. Tell us how you got started on tracking these down.
We moved to Washington in 1984. I was with Sinclair Oil, managing an office. And as I went around town for my business, I saw these inscriptions everywhere. And I looked for a book that had them, and I couldn't find them. So I'd write them down on a piece of paper, kept them in different files. The file kept growing. After 7 or 8 years, I finally typed them all up. My wife, who is an English major, said, this will publish. And it did. And my first book was called Inscriptions of a Nation, was published by Congressional Quarterly in 1994.
And tell our listeners, really, what do you mean by inscription? I mean, I think we know, right?
Well, an inscription is a writing in stone or glass or in metal, and it's the enduring words that are found on the major memorials and historic structures in Washington, D.C. This book is all about the inscriptions just in our nation's capital. And when you think about an inscription, it's intentional. It's how a nation wants to be remembered and honored and understood and what it wishes to declare. And so the words are carefully chosen, and they're quite inspiring. It's a beautiful legacy of our country's history that traces the arc of the great American story.
And they're literally set in stone.
They
I mean,
are.
This is so beautiful. And so your book, America's Inscriptions, is focused on the Washington, D.C. area and all the major inscriptions and things that are in that.
That's right, in Washington, as well as in Arlington National Cemetery across the river. And it's just that. And but the words are just beautiful, and they're very uplifting. It's a great read.
So just in the introduction even of your book, you share a story about somebody who was having an experience at one of these monuments. Could you share with our listeners what that was like?
Well, I was researching this book, and since 1994, since my first one, there have been some 15 major memorials added to the city. So, and one of those was the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial. While I was standing there, some 30, 40 feet away, was a woman that was intently reading the words of Dr. King. She was alone. No one was around her. But then she began to speak, and she said, do people realize the power of these words? Do they realize what's here and their importance? Everyone should read them. And that was a very telling moment for me that these words did resonate with people, and they should be read.
I'm looking at the cover of the book, and you've got the inscription on the tomb of the unknown soldier with a soldier literally marching in front of it. I mean, I don't know how you picked this, but it's really quite touching. It's beautiful too, and there's not a lot of language in the inscription, but it's very telling anyway.
That's the 3rd Infantry that guards the tomb 24 hours a day, has since the mid-1930s, regardless of the weather, regardless of who's there. And it is a most moving sight in Arlington, as you know. And the inscription here rests in honored glory, an American soldier, known but to God. It's a great inscription.
It absolutely is. Absolutely. It's beautiful, too. It's just a beautiful cover.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite?
You know, I have different favorites. There are different themes expressed in the book. I love the humanity expressed in many of the memorials. Jefferson speaking about human freedom and the freedom of the mind. I love Lincoln, his humanity, talking about this soldier that has given his life at Gettysburg, or caring for the widow and the orphan after the war. I'd love to share an inscription.
Absolutely.
This is from the American Veterans Disabled for Life Memorial, and the humanity expressed by Theodore Strong Jr., who was an American veteran who lost both of his legs in service to country. And this is what he wrote. This is the inscription at the site. It's possible for a man to lose half of his physical being and still become whole. Before I lost my limbs, I was only half a man. Now I've developed some humility. I can look at the average person and understand him, where I only look before at myself. That's that type of humanity. Yeah. I love the unity expressed in the inscriptions. You know, when you go to Washington, people stand shoulder to shoulder, and they're in the presence of the enduring symbols of Washington, D.C. People come from all different walks of life, political persuasions, socioeconomic backgrounds. But as they stand there shoulder to shoulder, we're Americans, and we're united. And several of the memorials speak to that unity. For example, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Nearby there is a statue of 3 American servicemen, 1 Latino, 1 black, 1 white. And it shows the shared sacrifice and the service of those that's forged by unity and togetherness. The most frequent inscription in Washington that's found all over is E pluribus unum, one out of many.
Interesting. I wonder, we don't have a ton of time left, but I hadn't really thought about Arlington having inscriptions. Can you tell us just a little bit about that?
In Arlington, there are a number of inscriptions throughout the site. The main one is the one that we've covered, is the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Sure. The Kennedy grave sites have beautiful inscriptions, and the Robert Frost helped John F. Kennedy write the first his inaugural address, and his words are written in stone, and they overlook the Washington area. Those are beautiful. They have a great cadence to them. Also, there are Robert F. Kennedy inscriptions that he gave after the death of Martin Luther King Jr. and at a speech that he gave in South Africa.
That was a powerful speech, by the way.
That was, very much so.
We've got less than a minute left, but as our listeners consider inscriptions, what would you like them to know or think about in the next couple of days as we're about to celebrate our 250th anniversary?
Just that this is a country that we can be very proud of. It's a country that we have our flaws, and you see that in some of the memorials, such as the Japanese Americans for Patriotism. Ronald Reagan says, here we admit a wrong. But taken together, the inscriptions are a volume of the great triumph of our country over a quarter of a millennia. And it's just a beautiful reflection of the best of our country. And so,
thanks, Clint. That was Clint Ensign, author of the America's Inscriptions. And thanks. I'll be spending some time with that book this weekend.
Thank you for having me.
Next up on Inside Sources, we're going to take a shift here to food, glorious food. We're talking about patriotic foods and potlucks around the state in honor of America 250. What's your favorite to eat around Independence Day? Text us at 57500. We'll be right back.
It's 11:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Cameron Elliott. KSL's top national story this hour from ABC News. We're learning new details about the health of former Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Now, dispatch audio reviewed by ABC News shows emergency responders went to McConnell's home to attend to an unconscious person who appeared to be in cardiac arrest. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang has more.
It's not even clear at this point if he's still even in the hospital. So just to walk back in terms of the timeline here, McConnell has not been seen on Capitol Hill since June 11th. Then on June 14th, McConnell's spokesperson confirmed he was admitted to the hospital, saying he's getting excellent care. Then on June 22nd, his office indicated McConnell was still working on Senate business, but would not be on Capitol Hill for votes.
He's been hospitalized for more than 2 weeks, but his office has not provided any additional information about his status. Other national stories KSL is following. Pakistani officials are now saying the latest round of indirect talks between the U.S. and Iran are over. ABC News contributor and former Defense Department official Mick Mulroy says the door hasn't been closed for more talks for now.
They are very inconsistent on how we and Iran interpret the MOU, which seems to be plain English, at least for us. But this is going to be something that, well, if it gets worked out, it's going to have to be worked out in face-to-face negotiations in person. Simply going back and forth on social media doesn't tend to resolve anything.
Pakistan's former minister has claimed that there was progress made in the talks, but Iran hasn't shown a full commitment to the terms laid out in the Memorandum of Understanding. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow Jones is up 231 points, that's 0.4%. The S&P 500 is down 38 points, that's 0.5%, and the Nasdaq is down 323 points, that is 1.25%. Coming up, a chance of rain and some heat. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 11:32.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Life doesn't slow down. It evolves. And the best chapters, well, they're still ahead. Introducing Let's Get Moving, presented by Ovation Homes, a brand new Sunday morning show designed to inspire your next step forward. Join KSL's Maria Chaleos alongside Ovation Homes' Amber Weikstra as they explore what it really means to live with purpose, from strengthening your body and mind to discovering new passions, creating beautiful, functional living spaces, building healthy communities, and finding balance in your finances, family, and future. In addition, glean insight from timely guest experts, bringing real-life experience and valuable advice you don't want to miss. This isn't about slowing down. It's about moving forward with meaningful conversations, practical ideas, and inspiration you can actually use to create a life and home you truly love. Because your best years start at Ovation Homes. Start your Sunday morning inspired from 5:30 to 6:30 on KSL.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. Plus, get a free base with select mattress purchases. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Do you spend half your day walking or standing while working? If you have foot, knee, or back problems, the Good Feet store wants to help you like we help Tony.
Pain that I experience the most is foot pain from being on my feet all day. You're having to kind of talk to yourself through the whole shift, like, I got this, I can do this. Before, I felt defeated, and now it's like, all right, let's go. I'm ready. A whole new life, like sunshine coming on.
And how about working more comfortably, like Dennis?
Working at an amusement park, it's always on your feet. I just couldn't take it, but I didn't have a choice. I just couldn't believe that putting these arch supports in made that much of a difference that quickly. I could do my job, and I could take care of my family. I know what my tomorrow's going to be. It's going to be positive.
You deserve a better life too. Stop in the Good Feet store today. We have locations in Farmington, Riverton, and Sandy.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Learn how to save more this summer at UCCU.com. Here's Ricky Meese.
We do have a nice-looking drive on the Valley freeways. In Utah County, emergency crews are on the scene of a crash with debris. It's at the intersection of Pony Express Parkway and Foothill Boulevard. That's 8th West in Saratoga Springs. Also, a crash in Salt Lake reported at State Street and 1900 South. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
The high today is going to break 90, and it's only going to get hotter through the weekend, hitting its apex on Monday with a high of 99. Right now, though, it's 82 degrees and mostly cloudy downtown. I'm Cameron Elliott from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Well,
the all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people in politics.
I'm so excited. I can't even wait for the music to play. Really.
There you go.
So one of the best ways to celebrate Independence Day is with food. I mean, come on. It's with your community, your friends, your family, your coworkers, your neighbors, the stranger down the street.
Yeah, and when you get people together this time of year and you add food, you get some great results.
Add food and stir. On Sunday, July 5th, at Utahns of all walks of life are going to come to the table and share a meal.
Okay, America's 250. We're talking about America's potluck.
Like, it's literally a thing. Literally, there are committees and everything. But we want to know what your favorite food or dish is to eat around the 4th of July. Text us 57500. So we have with us in studio Steve Handy. He's an America 250 Utah Commission member, a member of Utah America's Potluck Task Force. Holy cow.
Holy cow, hell.
And Sarah Pettit, Associated Food Stores, also a member of Utah America's Potluck Task Force. And before we ask anything else, what's your favorite food for Independence Day, Steve?
Apple pie, of course.
Okay.
Apple
Do you
pie.
make it?
Apple pie and mother. No, I don't make it, but I have some good cooks all around me.
Okay. And Sarah, your favorite?
Cubed watermelon.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, there you go.
Just plain, or do you turn it into a salad?
Just plain.
All right. Greg?
Corn on the cob.
That is pretty awesome, actually.
with
I
lots
love
of
starting to come on. It'll start to come on.
Yeah, and I love homemade ice cream. So we've already had it twice this summer, and we'll have it again.
I'm glad you didn't ask what my favorite thing to take to a potluck is, because it's a great big bag of tortilla chips.
Well, that works.
Easy.
And
It makes
some
it easy.
little salsa. Yeah, I'm not very creative.
Okay, all right. So this is one of the things that I think is really fun about the 250th celebrations that are going on, is this idea that America can come together and share a meal together, basically a potluck. So Steve, you want to kick us off and tell us a little bit more about this big nationwide and community-wide potluck?
Yeah, happy to do that. Happy to be here today with Sarah. And when we were started out with the commission's been in Utah organized for 4 years, and we started to try to frame what comes up with, and we knew of this idea that they have in England called America's Lunch, or not America's Lunch, England's Lunch, or the Big Lunch.
Wow.
This used to celebrate Queen Elizabeth's birthday, and the country would come together for the big lunch. And so our executive director happens to be my daughter-in-law, Nicole Handy, knew of that, and so she said, and we started brainstorming and came up with this idea, America's Potluck. Tried to decide, should we say on the 4th or the 5th, and so she was traveling back and forth to the some meetings in Washington, D.C. with other states, trying to figure things out, and now all 50 states and Puerto Rico have adopted America's Potluck, and it's an idea that came out of Utah.
I love it.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Okay, so Sarah, what's happening on the 5th then? Tell us.
So on the 5th, communities are invited to come together and to potluck, to find unity over a meal and to celebrate America's 250. So it's as easy as maybe you go and you knock on a neighbor's door and you say, hey, would you like to have a glass of lemonade with me? That can be considered a part of the potluck. Or you plan a large potluck for your neighbors, for your friends, just your community in general, and ask everyone to bring their favorite dish.
That would be really fun. A lot of fun. So
What a great idea.
It is really.
I had no idea.
It's really fun, and what I really love.
Sorry, Steve.
I love that it started in Utah. And I love, so if I go into the America 250 Utah website, I know that there's recipes there, and I think that is super fun too. Maybe Sarah, do you want to tell us about some of the recipes that are up on that website?
So Macy's and associated food stores contributed to some of those different recipes, and we wanted to make sure that there were recipes there that were Utah favorites. So when you go, you will find fry sauce, right? Which maybe you've had fry sauce before. If you're a Utahn, you definitely have.
Definitely.
This is open to all of the different states. So we are also sharing our favorite Utah recipes with other states as well. We have funeral potatoes, and it's my understanding there are 3 different funeral potato recipes.
I might have to try that.
The one from Macy's
probably 300.
is a classic.
Oh,
It's
really?
a classic, and it's a family recipe that actually our marketing team came up with, and they made that recipe and shot all of the Macy's recipes in-house.
Interesting.
So they all come from an inspired family recipe.
Wow. Well, speaking of that, we do have a texter that says he is the designated funeral potatoes provider on the 4th of July weekend. So there we go. I wonder, Steve, what type of opportunities do you see organizationally by having people make a specific effort to reach out and share a meal with somebody else?
Well, it's easy to become, and we all understand this with social media today. We can become very isolated, and it's a sad thing, and it can be a dangerous thing, I think, for our society and for our democracy. Democratic Republic. It can be a dangerous thing that people are isolated in within their own cone wherever they are. So this is a great thing to bring people together. And as Greg earlier said, we eat, and eating is a social thing too. And we can get to know our neighbors. We have my area. I live in Layton, and we have an empty nesters group. We have about 50 names in this group, and so we're having our America's Potluck. We're going to move it to the Monday night, the 6th, which is fine. And so that's what we're doing. We've invited about 50 people, and it's going to be a great thing. And we'll get together, and we've asked them to come and share what America 250 means to you.
How's it been received nationally? Because this seems like a Utah thing.
Well, the fact that that 49 other states and Puerto Rico adopted this, I don't know, but I think it's moving very well. I know that there are I just Googled up this morning America's Potluck, and boy, it just came up with all kinds of stuff.
I think one of the funnest things for me is when we do potluck get-togethers, whether it's at church or neighborhood or whatever, is the variety of food that I wouldn't have thought to put together. Now, this is a Utah thing, but pretzels and red Jell-O, I mean, who would have thought? But it's actually really good.
No, it's not.
Yes, it really
No,
is.
it's not.
It really is. But there are things, right, that people bring, and they'll be like, I know how to make a ramen noodle salad, or like things that I don't typically make. It's one of the things that I love. And going outside my own culture, although we've expanded it as much as we could with our family, is to just say, look, what do you specialize in? You know what would be fun? America Potluck, only funeral potatoes. Everybody bring your best funeral potatoes. That would be really fun.
That would be a fun
idea. Carb
wouldn't
overload,
it?
But really fun.
It'd be a really fun idea. See the variety of that. Cool. I like that.
Oh, I wish I had an answer for what we're doing in our neighborhood, because I don't know. So I guess it's on me. I need to make sure that we do something. So look, for our listeners, if you haven't texted us already, text us your favorite Independence Day foods. What do you like to eat on Independence Day over the weekend? 57500. And when we come back, I'm going to make all these people eat some of the America 250 branded foods that I found.
Let's do it.
Stay with us.
Excited.
Hi, it's Greg Skordas. What if I told you that 4 weeks from now, everything can feel different, including your energy, your weight, and the way your clothes fit? That's what Soda Dynamic Diet did for me, and that's what it will do for you. My first 4 weeks with Soda, I lost 18 pounds. After 7 weeks, I'd lost 30 pounds. Right now, listeners can get 4 weeks free when they call 866-800-SOTA and mention KSL Radio. Soda Diet and Nutrition teaches you how to let go of the weight and keep it off for a lifetime with no shots, no pills, just real food, expert guidance, and habits that last. Weight loss medications can cost a lot, and for many people, the bill does not end. Soda is different. Degreed nutritionists help you get the root cause of your challenges, guide you one-on-one, and teach you lifelong habits so that you can lose the weight without signing up for a lifetime bill. Get 4 weeks free when you call 866-800-SOTA and mention KSL Radio. SOTA is, say it with me, state of the art.
More than 50 million Americans suffer from a form of mental illness.
And Utah isn't immune, with nearly 1 in 3 people dealing with anxiety, depression, or another form of mental illness.
But there's hope. We can all take action to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe.
That's why KSL has teamed with the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation to bring you hope and help you thrive.
It's Healthy Mind Matters.
Find out more at healthymindmatters.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. Since 1989, Anago Cleaning Systems of Utah has provided janitorial and disinfection services across the state. They help offices, schools, healthcare facilities, and other businesses maintain healthier environments. Regional Director Dave Bonamort joins us with more.
At Anago Cleaning Systems of Utah, we understand that every business along the Wasatch Front has unique cleaning needs. For over 30 years, we have provided tailored janitorial solutions for hundreds of local businesses, from small 3,000 square foot offices to large manufacturers running 3 shifts. Our signature 10-step disinfection process and Protection Plus disinfection program utilize EPA-registered, hospital-grade disinfectants to ensure your environment is safe and hygienic. We pride ourselves on reliability and transparency, offering 24/7 client support and a 2-hour response time. As a locally owned and operated business backed by a national brand, we provide the local relationships companies love while maintaining elite standards of commercial care and consistent service quality across every facility we manage. Whether it is nightly cleaning, floor restoration, or daytime services, Anago is dedicated to helping Utah businesses shine. Visit us at anagoutah.com to learn more.
By keeping workplaces consistently clean and well-maintained, Anago Cleaning Systems of Utah plays a key role in daily business operations. Many Utah companies depend on their services to maintain safe environments, support productivity, and create a better experience for employees and customers. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
You know, teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
Yeah, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, anything, you need to tell an adult, someone you know and trust. That can be hard, but speaking up about a problem is what helping a friend is all about.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Let me ask you a question. You have a best friend? How big would it shock you if somebody told you that your best friend just killed somebody?
911, emergency.
Someone on every line said they kidnapped my son and they're demanding $500,000.
I've asked myself so many times, what in the world happened?
Ransom is available now. Listen at ransompodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you're struggling with your mortgage, there's a free government program that offers expert one-on-one advice about your mortgage options. Call 1-888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Inside Sources.
Well, nothing brings a community together like food, so it makes sense that in Independence Day holiday, a major community thing would involve a lot of food.
So I have a lot of food.
You brought a ton of food. Yes.
You have to be on the live stream. You really have to go and look at this. So this is the branded food, America 250. And I'll say just at the outset, that some of the stuff is branded, but it's not any different. So I have a Pringles can. It really is just Pringles chips, but the can is America 250. But some of our treats are changed for the America 250 holiday. We're joined in studio by Steve Handy and by Sarah Pettit. They're both members of Utah America's Potluck Task Force. Yay! And we also have, remind me, Renee, your last name? Renee Lita in studio with us. And we have our producer, Andy Cup. He's gluten-free, and
there's
one thing
here,
I think here.
No, there's several.
Anyway, I just thought it would be fun, and I just have to tell you. So I bought these at Macy's grocery store. That's where I typically shop for groceries.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. This was not not planned or anything. But this is not the first time because I bought a bunch of stuff and my kids ate them all. So at home I have 5 adult kids and 1 minor.
Mm-hmm.
They just ate it all. Everything I brought, they ate. And so this is round 2 or 3. But I do have to mention, as you guys start eating these different things, I'd love to have your feedback, speak into the microphone. But one thing I couldn't find was the limited edition Oreos that were red, white, and blue. And those were very brightly colored and different flavors for each color. And I'll just say in our family, the adults thought the flavor explosion was maybe a little too much to handle because of the 3 different flavors. But I have a 3-year-old grandson who literally ate them hand over fist and finished off the entire package before his mom or I noticed that he had eaten the whole thing.
Not
Sarah
a surprise.
Sarah and I both grabbed the Twinkies. What I want you to know that if you look at it closely, it was made for the bicentennial. So these were made 50 years ago.
Stop.
They're still good.
Deep storage, they're still good.
Fine.
Red, white, and blue sprinkles on these.
How was it?
It's good.
I gotta
It's
try
good.
it. I gotta try that.
It is like your
When was
classic
the last time
Twinkie.
you had a Twinkie? Yeah.
It's been a minute, but a classic Twinkie. And
We have moon pies.
Americana.
We have chocolate moon pies and banana
trying a
moon
Twinkie
pies.
and a moon pie,
We have
yeah.
M&Ms. We have star-shaped pretzels.
Hand me the Pringles.
We also have star-shaped marshmallows, and they came in a special bag, and the bag says it glows in the dark. So when you're doing s'mores, your bag might glow, and then the star-shaped marshmallows, of course, are fun. So
My girls would love that.
Yeah.
They would love the glow in the dark bag.
It's
I
so
would have
fun.
to try and get it away from them.
It really is so fun. So what are the little? You've got to tell me the drizzle, the rice cakes. What's the name of the brand? They're right in front of you. The bag.
Drizzlicious.
Drizzlicious. Okay.
Birthday cake bites.
So these are rice cakes. They're small,
$2.50 on there.
but they have like icing on them, and so they're actually really good.
This is it right here.
Yeah,
That's
right
it
there.
right there. That's it
That's
right
what
there.
it looks like. So my daughter hooked me on those, and I'm like, oh, those are really good.
Those are very tasty.
Yeah.
Those are very fun.
They're more sweet. Yeah. I
More
mean, rice
sweet.
cakes are kind of bland, and so this has sweet on the top. So those are one of the things that are gluten-free.
Yeah.
So it's just really fun, I think, to see
Loving the
some of the branded things that people did. The other thing I noticed, so I also bought branded Kraft mac and cheese, but it's the box that's branded. There's nothing different on the inside. It's exactly the same. But the box has branding on the outside, right? America 250.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in the store yesterday, I saw a lot of the end caps are branded America 250. And there's tortilla chips that you can get. Speaking of your potluck, there's tortilla chips,
Good.
red, white, and blue
There
that
you
you
go.
can get, right?
I don't
Get 'em,
know
Greg.
I don't know if they would taste
Get
the
them.
same.
No, they're going to taste great.
Sarah, would you eat a white tortilla chip?
Absolutely.
All my
You're
tortilla
probably
chips are
would,
white.
yeah.
What
Red, white,
color
or
are they
blue?
normally?
Well, I was thinking red, white, or blue. They do have the blue chips. Maybe red would be a little weird.
But
So
you were
we,
right.
we
Our-
do have a texter who weighed in. They take strawberry shortcake with strawberries, whipped cream, and blueberries, red, white, and blue. And I do that with my
That's
Jell-O.
nice.
Actually, I do love red, white, and blue Jell-O.
That's nice.
So, yep, with
The
the
layered.
layers. Yeah. All right, we've got we need to hear feedback. What else have you tried?
I'm
On the
going to
taste
open this
test.
moon pie right now, Holly.
Do it.
Check out the moon pie.
You're going to
Haven't had a
hate
moon
yourself
pie
in an
forever,
hour.
So let's have a little bite of moon pie here.
Yeah. When was the last time you had one of those, Handy?
Never.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
First time.
It might have to grow on you.
Yeah, it's a little bit dry. It's got like a marshmallow thingy in the middle, but it's I think kids would
somebody
just,
got.
I think kids would love that
Monster
Little,
energy
you know.
drink. So
I did.
between
I
the
got.
moon
I
pie
don't.
and the energy
I don't drink
They're-
monsters,
yeah, they're-
but
I
they
don't
are
either,
also
but they're all
branded.
branded.
There's 2 of them.
Yeah,
Yep.
There
yep.
you go.
Everybody's making the most of it. Look at these cool.
So I have a blue Hostess cupcake with red sprinkles.
What can you
I'm
tell
gonna
us
try
about
that.
the pretzels, Sarah? They're in shape.
They're
like
darling. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
in these cute little star shapes, and
Yes.
they're absolutely darling. Right now, I'm enjoying, of course, red, white, and blue M&Ms.
Oh, okay. I thought you grabbed
White,
course.
blue M&Ms.
Well, here's a little Debbie red, white, and blue gingerbread soft cookie.
I know.
So let's
Aren't
try
they
it.
so
A little
cute?
gingerbread
I mean,
soft.
that's what you usually
Soft,
see
a
at
little
Christmas
soft.
time, so they're
Little-
just getting in on the game.
Little soft cookie. There he is. There goes his head.
But Holly and I were laughing before because on the box they have accessories. The little gingerbread men, like
They do.
sunglasses and hats. And I mean, you could do that with icing at home.
I know, and they really
Can
should
you
have
eat the
included them in the
accessory?
box.
If it's out of icing, you can.
Okay, good. Yeah.
All right,
And
fondant.
Holly's having some sort of a cupcake.
It
thing
is.
there.
It's the Hostess cupcake. It's blue on the top. I mean,
I
it
had no
kinda
idea. I
tastes
mean, I've never
normal,
even
but-
seen this kind of array of Americana foods.
Yeah, here's the Hostess cupcake.
Yeah.
Blue frosting. Let's check it out, shall we?
All right.
I think it tastes like a Hostess cupcake without the chocolate, right? Chocolate.
And what I can tell you, Holly, what you saw in our
Here we go.
stores, that's absolutely right. All of our vendors have been preparing for America 250 for some time. So most all of the store is red, white, and blue
They are.
America 250.
Yeah.
They really are, and it really is fun. And when does it go down? Sunday, I guess, before the potluck.
I imagine we'll
What's
keep
been
some
the
of it up.
reception to it by your customers? People buying it? People enjoying it? Or
People
just
love
looking
it.
at it?
Anything
Oh,
around food, any
Yeah,
celebrations around food, people
It is
really
fun.
enjoy.
It is a lot of
But
fun.
this one's special
Right.
because
This
it
one's
is
special.
America
Yeah.
250.
Renee, I have to ask you, what do you think about the little rice cakes?
They're good.
Yeah, see? Who knew rice cakes could be
Who
good?
knew they could be good?
Sarah, you
that's
make
so
a
funny.
good point.
And the
because-
cupcake, Holly, has a little surprise inside there. A little,
little
you know,
cream
you
fill.
got,
The
you got
icing.
one too.
Yeah.
Little
Right.
inside there, a little
So
surprise.
When are you gonna have a Twinkie accept on the 250th anniversary of our country? And now they actually
Do
taste
you know,
pretty
I
good.
have to tell you, I mean, I used to love Twinkies when I was a kid. So
Yeah,
when
I
I
did
was an
too.
adult, then it was like, I can buy whatever I want. So I bought a Twinkie, and it did not taste as good as I remembered it had tasted when I was 10 years old. So,
That happens.
these cake bites, so there are America 250 specific cake bites. I think they're Little Debbie, but they are tricolored also. So red, white, and blue, covered with chocolate. No, there's a brownie.
Open one up,
And
Sarah.
it kind of
Try
looks
that.
like a flag
Open one up.
almost,
It's
with the
like
red
a-
and white
yeah, it's got
stripes and the
the
blue.
frosting and those too.
Oh, yeah,
those.
I see.
Oh,
Okay.
these
So
are
we
the
have
cake bites.
brownies, but we also have cake bites.
These are the cake bites.
So-
let's open that up and see.
I'm
what
gonna
Yeah,
try the
you should-
Monster Energy drink. What the
Okay,
heck?
which one do you want?
Whichever
The
one
cake
you want a
bite
Monster Energy drink,
with the
Greg?
monster.
The low
Crack
cal
it
one.
open.
They're both low-cal? I don't know. Might as well get a little buzz for the rest of the day.
Okay, this is like a little brownie, but it's got a red, white, and red, white, and blue layers
On the
layers,
inside.
on the sides of this.
The tagline is all the cake in just one bite.
Okay.
I appreciate
That's
that.
the
All
tagline,
right.
huh? Yeah,
You
that's-
have
that's-
chocolatey
that's great
cream,
chocolate, you know.
dark
Oh.
chocolate, patriotic sprinkles, it says. So
That's tasty. It's very good.
Can you taste? Are they flavored differently?
I think they're all the same
No.
flavor.
They're all the same.
maybe.
It's just colored. I think
Yeah.
they're just colored.
But this is
Unlike
good.
the Oreo.
I would get this again. It's very good.
Would you show up at a potluck with some of this stuff?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
You would?
I absolutely would.
I guess
because
for
I have
dessert,
kids.
you got to have something
No.
for the.
And look, sometimes I think we put way too much pressure on ourselves to say it has to be homemade and it has to be awesome. And I used to do that. I don't do that anymore. So I'm really happy to share the love with professionally prepared
and you
treats.
you went all out
Make
here.
it fun,
I was
yeah.
gonna take
It's-
some of this home.
So
for
my husband was
potluck.
laughing at me when I came home from the store yesterday, and he said to my daughter, "I think they made your mom in charge of the party." And I said, "It's just taste testing. We're having our own party in studio right now."
Yeah.
So anyway, they thought I was funny.
Well, this is a lot of fun. You guys,
Thank you
this was
for
so
having us.
kind of you to share this with us. I don't know. This was a kind
Yeah.
of a cool event. We're not supposed to eat in the studio, by the way.
Right.
Or
Oh.
you can't.
Nope,
but-
stop
what-
breakers.
Don't
what
say
the
that
heck?
out loud.
Yeah, we're not in the
Don't tell
studio.
management.
We're just
Legal
pretending
does
like
not
we're
listen
here.
to
They're
the
not
show.
listening.
Okay.
So look, happy Independence Day. Have
Thank
a
you.
really great weekend. I want to
Everyone.
hear all about everybody's potlucks. We're going to toss it to the noon news now, but we won't be here tomorrow.
We get the day off.
We'll get the day off, but there will be a best of, and we're
Yeah, best of tomorrow.
revisiting some of our America 250 coverage. So hope people can listen in and have a great and safe 4th of July.
Thank you.
Do not burn the state up. That's
No.
my last word.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Health Studios. This is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good afternoon. KSL News Time is 12 o'clock noon. Utah's noon news starts now. I'm Maria Chaleos. KSL's top story this half hour. Wildfire victims are trying to understand why so much of Utah has burned this year, and they wonder if a lack of forest management is to blame. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson joins me now live with that story. Heather?
Maria, Andy Anderson, whose family ranch was destroyed in the Cottonwood fire, feels the forest in his neck of the woods wasn't maintained very well.
If they just spent a little bit of money to take care of it and groom the forest, they could have prevented it.
But Utah State Forester Jamie Barnes says the legislature last year set aside $10 million for wildfire prevention efforts, and they've used it to groom upwards of 100,000 acres of land as part of a shared stewardship agreement with the U.S. Forest Service.